those who have appeared in this exam, as well as those who are going to start the preparation. Today is the most important day, because there is no better way to understand UPSC other than the question paper. We have seen the evolution of UPSC over past more than 23 to 25 years, and though I have seen that many of the aspirants and the guides, they are making this point that the paper was very difficult. But as we have seen the pattern over the long period of time, I can very confidently say that this always happen when you give the first glance. Whenever we look the things from the first glance or at a superficial level, it always appears difficult. And that is why I have always advised that first go through the paper, and in the second round, just recompose yourself, and you will find that things are not as difficult as they appear in the first instance. Now, it is said that UPSC is the most unpredictable exam, but I don't believe that, because year after year, the students who have been going through the right approach, they have been able to manage this exam successfully. What is the biggest challenge today? Today, the biggest challenge of the civil services preparation is there is excessive of guidance, and often the students, because we are living in the age of social media, and if you see the theories, there are so many theories. There is one word known as hyper reality. So unfortunately, many of us are living in hyper reality because social media is constructing this hyper reality day by day. So if you will say paper is difficult, difficult and difficult, UPSC preparation is difficult, difficult and difficult, it will start appearing like that. But anything is difficult or not difficult, it all depends upon your level of preparation. Of course, if UPSC exam will not be difficult, then it doesn't deserve to be called as the UPSC exam, because you understand how critical role the civil services plays in the country. So if you will prepare, what is the underlying message? I'll say there is no unpredictability. Underlying message is declutter yourself with excessive information. I see this paper very similar to which had been asked over or in the past 7-8 years back. Such type of papers was there. So what UPSC demands? It demands you go back to the basics, your key notes which you have not prepared, which you have picked from the market will not work. You will have to work hard. You will have to go through the genuine guidance and the text. And since today is an important day, as I said, because many will have to take decision to start for their mains preparation, and others have to take decision how they should start UPSC preparation from the foundation level, do's and don'ts. And that is why a very good discussion on the prelims paper is required, and I am fortunate enough that I have invited the team of the most senior teachers, because I believe if it is a matter of health, if it is a matter of your career, experience matters. And I have invited the most credible and experienced teachers of this particular field to discuss the questions of different segments. And of course, while we will be discussing the questions, we will also be analyzing the trend. It is not going to be a simple yes, no session. You will get to know, you will get to learn many things. So I will first invite Baliyan sir, because we have seen that over a period of time in the prelims as well as in mains, the portion of culture and history, especially ancient and medieval, is increasing. So welcome Baliyan sir. And since history has dominated this, I believe this discussion will be very important, very critical to decide what you are going to do from now onwards. So welcome sir to this session. And before that, if you can just give your first reaction about the paper so that students understand the context of your discussion.
Good evening, all of you. After the exam, I have spoken to more than 100 students so far during the break after paper 1. And almost everyone told me that paper was too lengthy. You have seen how individual questions were covering half of the page. You need many minutes to read even that question. You have 100 questions to attempt in 120 minutes. So you have around, say, a minute each. But question paper itna lengthy tha that most of the students could not really cover all the questions, even if they knew many of the answers. Second thing, what we have noticed, what you people also have noticed, is the level of diversity. The depth and the diversity in this year's question paper was extreme. This was far beyond than most kind of resources available in the market, because anybody who has just prepared superficially by using the internet sources or sources available here and there on Telegram or such kind of platforms, they find they could not cross even 30-35 questions. If somebody has worked hard, let's say 24-25 questions were from current affairs, current developments in GK. So 24-25 questions are, say, a quarter of the paper. If a quarter of paper is coming from current developments, then you must have read those things. You must have read newspapers and magazines and other things extensively on a daily basis. I teach history culture, so my special focus was on history culture, what kind of questions were asked on history culture. We have other experts for different subjects. They will give you their own idea about their subject and the kind of questions which have been asked by UPSC this time. As far as history culture is concerned, I can tell you that this kind of difficulty I have not seen in the last few years. Our students have done very well because we cover things extensively. We don't just cover on the surface and say, okay, this is enough. NCERTs are important. Many questions came directly, but NCERTs are themselves not enough. You have to cover standard books. Many questions came from Bipin Chandra. I'll tell you page by page. Questions came from Upinder Singh. If you have somebody has seen Upinder Singh book, it's that much thick, 3,500 pages. If you have to read, you have to really invest a lot of time. That's not practically possible for students. That's why teachers like us come into picture. Our team here, what we have created for you, is the most experienced. Every teacher has 15 to 20 years of experience of guiding civil services aspirants. So this experience, whoever got last time, their life is little comfortable. And if somebody had just kind of prepared on the surface level superficially, those students are, I must say, and I feel very bad to say, they are just crying. So with this message, I'll hand over to Madam, and I'll be coming back to you once again for taking up questions of history culture One by one, we'll go in detail. I'll tell you specific page number, specific source, so that you can go back and see from where question came, and you can improve your performance for the next year if, God forbid, you have to appear for the next year exam. Thank you for listening to me.
Now I take pleasure to invite Shabbir sir, a name in itself as far as geography is concerned. I don't think anybody can be trusted in the geography like sir. And sir has a huge fan following among the students because of his style of teaching. And geography, environment is another very core pillar. And when you will listen to the discussion, you will understand that it is not just solving question and answer, it is understanding the approaches and how, when somebody is so experienced, when they discuss how things turn out. So welcome, sir. So if you want to share a few words with our students, and after Baliyan sir, we will have a discussion of geography questions with Shabbir sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am, for the generous introduction that you shared here. Yes, I also feel the same thing. Paper, tricky, tough, that's a different aspect. I think what we are concerned more about is the way students are preparing. UPSC examination and the job itself requires certain level of maturity. The maturity to appreciate what type of of themes are being focused on. The maturity to understand the paper cannot be attempted by mugging up certain facts. एक बड़ा dangerous trend है I have seen recently where students are put to marathon revisions, entire polity in 7-8 hours, entire economy in 1 day. And in those marathons, I have seen the coverage is largely about the basics rather than the depth through which they ask. If you ask me about the paper in geography and environment, I feel the questions were very, very conceptual questions. If you have done the readings proper, one question on river, one question on African lakes, there's one question on conflict area, like Hormuz pucha gaya tha. Very, very conceptual question asked on the peninsular plateau. Even in environment topics, if you are looking at the type of choices given to you, if you are looking at the phrasing of the nuances, I think the paper was biased towards those who are mature aspirants. So we'll discuss this, and I'm happy, madam, we have this platform where some of us can bring our experience here and not go the tricks and hacks way. Yes.
I think old is gold, and because students are so much confused, and we need to basically help the students in understanding what is the right approach. And again, I am emphasizing, declutter your mind, go back to the basics. The things, this paper is reminding us the type of paper which used to come earlier, and when we as a teachers were not referring to the chat GPT, rather going through the reference books and textbooks to explain the students what exactly is the depth and the requirement. Now I will invite Pratik Gupta sir, and you understand how important economics is, and in economics you cannot adopt, I think, the general approach. Anybody who is teaching economics, because it is, I believe, economics and geography are the two papers which are very technical. It cannot be dealt with any person from a generalist point of view. So welcome Pratik sir. And Pratik sir has also written one of the most, I believe every aspirant is knowing about his book, and the type of command in terms of the technicality of economic paper, and that is the strength of Pratik sir, which I have known since long time back. So here is the mic for you.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, economics is, one of the area where students are facing the maximum difficulties because majority of the students who are preparing for this exam are either from humanities background or from science background, and they hardly read economics. So when it comes to, started preparing for economics, they are like, "Ki, it's very practical subject, very technical subject, and we will not be able to understand it." But the point is, if you simply, try to connect this subject with the real life example and what is all happening in your daily life, then it becomes very easy. So I would say this is the trend of UPSC every year. Like whatever number of questions which have been coming in economics, they are kind of mixed difficulty level. Like for example, last year, around 20 questions were asked by UPSC from the economics section. And I would say from those 20 questions, it was not difficult to attempt around 10 to 12 questions. But yes, the remaining 8 to 9 questions were comparatively very difficult. Like I'll tell you one simple example. Last year in prelims examination, UPSC asked a question about the various departments which are working in different ministries. So what happened this year? When I was taking classes, students said, "Ki, sir, we need to know all the departments, like in which ministries we have different departments." So I said, you might, get this kind of questions once in a while. So it's not like that this kind of trend will continue in the UPSC. But they were like, no, sir, we need to, know the different departments, different areas which are working regarding like ED and all, that the question asked in the last year. So if you see this year, there was no question regarding that particular pattern. And now what UPSC asked this year, they asked about the 4 different committees. One was about RBI, one was about SEBI, and the other. So the point is what? You cannot go by this kind of trend. So if they ask one question, then you will simply start mugging up all these things. What is most important, that you should focus on the basic fundamentals. Like there are certain topics which we need to have a good amount of knowledge and by which you will be able to solve. Now, when it comes to this year paper, I would say around 16 questions asked by UPSC, and again the same thing. 8 to 9 questions can simply be solved with the basic understanding of economics. Like if you have done through all the, done all the basic topics, and moreover, if you simply focused on like one of the book, any standard book if you referred. But if you start going through, all the different materials and all the gyans which have been given by different people online, then certainly it is going to be very difficult. So the point is what? Paper was, I would say, not tough. The paper was quite lengthy. So if you have basic understanding, then it will not be difficult to solve around 50% questions. So what I think, concept, basics are the most important thing which you need to focus on. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So now I take pleasure to invite Ritesh sir, and I believe that there is no better name in the industry as far as science and technology is concerned. The way he delivers one of the most complex topics of the science, even to the students who do not have the background in the subject. And I have seen that over a period of time, science and technology was once not that much focused, but now science and technology has become a very central part of the entire preparation. And especially if you are a political science student, then you require very interdisciplinary understanding. See, if you see the paper, you will not be able to actually distinguish that the question is from geography, question is from international relations, or question is from science, defense sector. So let us hear the reaction of Ritesh sir. Yeah, welcome sir.
Thank you, ma'am. So good evening to all of you. As far as UPSC Prelims 2026 is concerned, and I'm science and technology teacher, and I always talk about innovation. So UPSC is also innovating things, right? So those student who try to predict some trend in prelims examination, try to crack UPSC code, they will be really disappointed because UPSC is now innovating every year, and you can see like new trends are coming up. So my first advice that if you are preparing for next year, please do not try to decode the code of UPSC because there is no fixed code and there is no fixed trend. UPSC will keep on innovating, and innovation is there in this year examination also, right? As far as science and technology is concerned, you can see like 17, 18 questions are there, which are directly from science and technology. And overall, I think, ma'am, that the cutoff would be pretty much in a moderate way. The examination was not too easy, not too tough, but it was a kind of, above average kind of thing. So let's see, and we'll all discuss our paper and we'll come up with the more insight.
So thank you all of you. And now I will request Baliyan sir to start discussion of the history questions. And the only thing I want to tell is, as far as civil services preparation is concerned, just try to understand the difference between the information and knowledge, and the difference between theatrics and teaching. And as far as a teacher, a lawyer, and a doctor is concerned, you should always look at two things: the experience and the accomplishment and the credibility. Thank you. We'll be coming one by one and we'll be discussing our sections. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Can you get the file too? And phone also. लाइव चैट बताना पड़ेगा, मुझे दिखेगा भी नहीं ऐसे कुछ। अगर मेन होगा ना, मुझे कहीं से दे देना कॉपी करके। तो देखने के लिए मुझे ग्लासेस चाहिएगा, तो आप मुझे थोड़ा सा कहीं ना कोई टैब होगा वगैरह या कोई प्रिंट होगा, वो दे देना करके मुझे। एक पानी भी दे देना। हो जाए दिस, मुझे जो मेन क्वेश्चन होगा ना वो निकाल के दे देना, बिकॉज यहाँ पढ़ूंगा तो उधर का कनेक्शन हट जाएगा। So I hope all of you are ready for the discussion of history culture questions. Somebody will have to help me initially. Can I tick here? तो मार्क करने का है, कैसे टिक करेंगे? लिखने वाला मार्कर होता है या कैसे लिखते हैं? ऊपर नीचे करने का? दिस इज दिया, आई थिंक ये है ना, आई थिंक इससे हो जाएगा। इट्स ओके। So dear students, let's have a look at the first question. The first question of history and culture, you may have different sets. I think the set with me is D, and you can see here the questions number in different sets is mentioned here. What we are following here is set D, and in set D this is question number 1. In set A question would be number 11, set B question would be number 31, and set C question would be number 21. So you can see accordingly in your set. We'll go in a series. Once you start with history question, all the questions are likely to be in series one after another. So let's see the first question here. Consider the following assertion: in Pleistocene period, either the Yamuna once flowed into Indus or Satluj flowed into the Yamuna, and one major tributary of either had shifted from the Ganga to Indus or vice versa. So let's comprehend what issue is here. The question here is talking about Indian river system in Pleistocene period. Pleistocene period means you can say 2.58 million years ago to around 11,700 years ago. So 2.58 million years ago to 11,700 or 11.7 K or 1000 years ago. You have to keep in mind we are talking about the earliest phase of human existence in Indian subcontinent. This was also the earliest phase of human existence in world as such. So in terms of historical periods, this period was Paleolithic age. In terms of geological time scale, this was Pleistocene period. So Pleistocene period was the last phase of great ice age when ice had started melting. The primates, the ancestors of human being, they go down from the trees and they started living on the ground. But the question is not about human history. The question is about the history of Indian rivers, the historical rivers, so the Indian drainage system. So it's saying that some rivers shifted because of the uplifting of the northern plains. The rivers which were moving towards west, they moved towards east. Say Yamuna. Yamuna was earlier leading into river Satluj. It moved in towards river Ganges or river Ganga. So that's the theme out here that you have to see. This is assertion. It means you don't have to question the authenticity of this statement. Assertion है, it means ये अपने आप में एक correct या right statement है. On the basis of that statement, you have to look at the three pointers or inferences here, on the basis of which of these three pieces of information we can conclude the first one. The first one is the Nadi Shukta of Rigveda. Nadi Shukta, Shukta means shlok or the hymn. There is a particular hymn 10.75 in Rigveda. 10.75 means 10th mandala 75. So Nadi Shukta hymn of Rigveda 10.75 number hymn of Rigveda talks about the rivers, and these rivers which were visible in front of the people of Vedic age, the first phase, that is Rigvedic age. In this hymn, all the rivers are mentioned, from say river Ganges to river Yamuna to river Satluj and Bias and Ravi and Chenab, etc. This talks about different rivers of India, but it doesn't really talk about what happened in earlier periods or what happened in Pleistocene period. Whatever Rigvedic Aryans could see with their eyes, they recorded orally. Of course, there was no script in Rigvedic age. The Vedic Aryans used to collect or compile their information orally. So this was oral composition. This hymn talks about different rivers, but it does not talk about the situation of Pleistocene period. Rigvedic age, as per the current understanding, something around 2000 BC to around 1000 BC. Earlier, we used to believe, as per the time period given by Max Muller, that this was from 1500 to 1000, but the current researches have revealed that this was not 1500, this was around 2000 BC, because we'll discuss later in classes how the recent researches at Sonoli and all have changed our historical time scale. So Nadi Shukta does not talk about the situation in India in Pleistocene period. Nadi Shukta just talks about different rivers, how they were flowing in different parts of India. The rivers are mentioned from east to west. So this doesn't really play any role in inferring the first one. Exploration of river Satluj and Yamuna by Robert Brucefoot. River Satluj and Yamuna have been explored, but exploration was not done by Robert Brucefoot. I think there is some kind of confusion in the question here. But if this content is correct, I can tell you what is correct. Exploration was carried out by Survey of India. Exploration was carried out by one French geologist, Louis Vivian Saint Martin. He wrote a book in 1855, and he, on the basis of his research, he talked about this phenomena that earlier rivers used to flow towards west. River Yamuna used to fall in river Satluj, and then it shifted its course because of geological or because of kind of earthquake phenomena which were witnessed in Indian subcontinent. So statement number 2 is correct, but I think this content is slightly different than what it was in actual paper. Give me 1 second, let me clarify from the team here. The statement is perfectly correct. So second one is correct here. The presence of same species of dolphins in both Indus and Ganga river systems. We have dolphins in both Ganga as well as the Indus river systems. This could be one of the signs that they were somehow connected in the past, but this is not a very definite piece of evidence. There could be different reasons for having dolphins in these river systems, because dolphins are found in fresh water systems in Indian subcontinent, and this has a very historical background to it, because the northern plains earlier used to be Tethys Sea, and the remains of that has really affected. So in this part here, the question, statement number 2 is correct. That explains which of the following are the basis of the assertion. So this statement number 2 explains our statement number 1 or the assertion given in the question. Number 3 and number 1 are not really related to it. So your answer comes out to be your B only. Now let us move to the next part here. Next question is about the iconography in Buddhism. In earlier phase of Buddhist history, symbols were used for worshipping purpose by Buddhist followers. The Hinayana Buddhists, they consider Buddha as a teacher. They did not consider Buddha as a god. So they used to worship Buddhist symbols like empty throne, like footmarks, like stupa, like wheel. This question in that context, iconography means what kind of symbols were used by. तो देखना पड़ेगा आपको बार बार, मेरे को लिखने लीजिएगा, करके लिखने वाला छोड़। ये जिम्मेदारी आपका. So iconography means what kind of symbols and what kind of signs or pictures, or you can say images, were worshipped in early phase of Buddhist history. So in early phase, when Hinayana form of Buddhism was predominant, Buddha was considered as a teacher, and Buddhist symbols were worshipped. Symbols like wheel, the first sermon or the first lecture, tree, the symbol of Buddha's nirvana or his attainment of knowledge, stupa, symbol of his death or Mahaparinirvana. So those kind of symbols you have to keep in mind to answer this question. The question here is about empty seat or empty throne. Empty throne or empty seat represents Buddha's meditation. The question is directly from NCERT. NCERT, hymn number 1, class 12 NCERT. And clearly it's mentioned in a paragraph about Buddhist iconography, and this line is directly taken from NCERT of class 12, Ancient India or NCERT themes part 1. Let's move to next question. I hope all of you are following. If you have any doubt, difficulty, you can put your query in the comment section and I'll get the comment and we can discuss that also. Which of the following pairs of ancient and modern names of rivers are correctly matched? These are names again from Rigveda or Rigvedic Samhita. These names are used, or these terms are used for different rivers. Again, the source is the same, Nadi Shukta or Nadi Istuti hymn. Shukt means hymn, so Nadi Shukta hymn doesn't really make any sense. Nadi Istuti hymn. Vitasta means Jhelam. Ashkini means Chinab. So both are wrongly matched here. Arushini is a term for Ravi, and Yavyavati or Yavzavati, they are different. So this Yavyavati is also Ravi, is not Bias. Vipasa is the term used in Rigvedic Samhita for Bias river. So here number 1, number 2 and number 4 are incorrectly matched. Only number 3 is correctly matched. Option is very easy, that is C or 3 only. Kindly sit with. Keep following. If you miss out anything, you can just raise your hand in your comment section. I can come back and explain you again. Which of the following statements on Amaravati Stupa and its relief sculptures are correct? Amaravati, there are two Amaravati in India. One is Maharashtra Amaravati, that is AMRA, Amaravati. And second is Amaravati or Amaravati in Andhra Pradesh. So this is Amaravati of Andhra Pradesh, where one very big stupa was built by Ashoka, and another stupa later on was built by Satvahana kings, later on by Ikshvaku's king, who used to rule in that area in post-Mauryan times. So this, we are talking about Amaravati stupa, one of the biggest stupas. The circumference or the Medi of this stupa is around 192 feet. And this is much bigger than Sanchi stupa. If you can have a look at point number 2 here, it was next only to Sanchi stupa in size. Sanchi stupa was smaller than Amaravati stupa. Sanchi stupa's Medi or the circumference was around 122 feet. This was much bigger. So statement number 2 here is incorrect. It was located in lower Krishna Valley of course Guntur district of Andhra Pradesh. This is the lower part of Krishna River Valley. That is perfectly correct. Second statement is wrong. Third statement, the Amaravati school of sculpture made a lasting impact. Amaravati school of sculpture emerged in post-Mauryan period around kind of 1st century BC or the later part of 2nd century BC. Amaravati was the main center. Dharnikota, Nagarjunikonda were some other important centers, and beautiful sculptures in white marble were made by Indian artists in this area of Amaravati. School means a branch of sculpture having its unique features, its unique way of representing the objective reality or the divine reality, whatever was observed by the artist of that time. Amaravati school of sculpture made a lasting impact on later South Indian sculpture. Later South Indian sculpture means the Pallava period sculpture or the Chola period sculpture. This is perfectly correct. And from Pallava Chola period, the iconography or the art of making images here moved to Southeast Asian countries, because Pallavas and Cholas used to maintain a very powerful navy. Cholas conquered whole of Southeast Asia, and with the trading convoys, with the trading merchants or ships, the features of this school of sculpture moved to Sri Lanka and other Southeast Asian countries. This is perfectly correct. Select the answer using the code given below. You have to always keep an eye here because sometimes it could be incorrect. So we are looking for correct statements. Number 1 and number 3 are correct. Number 2 is incorrect. So option here is B. Keep following. If you have any issue, you are free to raise your concern in comment section and I'll be happy to take that up. Kindly do the next one. Let's move to the next question, question number 5 in set D, and other sets questions are mentioned here. All of these are in kind of QO series. Which of the following pairs of the king and his dynasty in early historical Tamilakam? Tamilakam means Peninsular India or Tamil land, or you can say South India, are not correctly messy. Just the way I highlighted first in the previous question, sometimes you'll have a not correct. If you do not read instructions carefully, if you just rush through, you will end up making silly mistakes. And every time whenever I discuss with the students, some of them do make such silly mistakes which are completely avoidable. And one great person says that if you really want to do something big in life, always ensure that you do not indulge in common stupidities or common mistakes. So common mistakes you have to avoid. Not reading carefully, nobody can teach you. No class, no book can really teach you that you have to read properly. This is your responsibility. You have to read it. You have to learn how to pay attention, how to live in the present rather than thinking somewhere else. All right, let's see the answers here. Tengutu 1, these are names of the kings of Sangam age. Sangam age is the time period in South Indian history that is mentioned in Sangam literature. As per the time period, we do not have any exact date, but somewhere around 300 BC to 300 AD was the time period of Sangam age. In that age, there were 3 main dynasties. If I can give you a little graphically here, so if this is Peninsular India, one dynasty was this side, one was here, and one was here. This was Chola area, this was Chera area, and this was a Pandyan kingdom. These 3 kingdoms were main entities or powerful entities in South India during 300 BC to 380 time period. So we are talking about the kings and the names of dynasties. Singatuvan was a Chera king. Udyanjeral was also a Chera king, not a Chola king. This king supported warriors in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. In Sangam literature, it is claimed that he sent food to the warriors fighting in Kurukshetra or Mahabharata war. So somehow those histories were maybe copied or maybe assimilated or maybe linked. Nathan Zelian was a Pandyan king. That's perfectly correct. Option here, 1 and 3 are correct. But you have to see not correctly matched. Because you have option for 1 and 3 also and option for 2 also. So option here is only 2. Read carefully, no need to rush. UPSC prelims exam is not about speed, this is about accuracy. If you cover, let's say 40-45 questions with 100% accuracy, you are done. Cutoff has never been more than 116 in the current format of exam. 116 was the cutoff maybe 10 or 12 years back. And in the last few years, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, cutoff has been always less than 100. This time, these kind of questions are not basically covered by students generally. So these are a little too deep. These we cover particularly when we come to the optional classes. If somebody had history as the optional subject, the paper or this particular segment of paper was quite easy. But if somebody who doesn't have history as the optional and that person, he or she has to tackle these are obviously very difficult. So do not get disheartened if you have made some mistakes. Let's go one by one. Cutoff this time is going to be very low. So just keep following, analyze, get hold of your net score. And my understanding says that if your net score is around 80, you will pass through this filtering phase. You will have opportunity to fight the main battle, that is main exam, starting from August 21. I got a question from Prakriti. Prakriti has asked, so where to study the old names of river from? You can just put in the Google Nadi, kind of Nadi Stuti hymn, and you'll get all the names. Otherwise, every book, even NCERT has it, DNJHA has it. DNJHA is also a very small book. You can easily find in that. And if you really want to know about all the rivers, then Upinder Singh is a very bulky book. You can refer that, but for general studies purposes, that is practically impossible to read. Now let's move to the next question. Which of the following factors contributed to the formation of forward bloc? Forward bloc was formed by Subhash Chandra Bose when he had to resign from the presidency of Congress due to differences with Mahatma Gandhi. Let's see the question. Bose failed to win the confidence of Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi did not support Subhash Bose because their ideologies were very different. Mahatma Gandhi's candidate was Pattabhi Sitaramaiah in presidential elections, but Pattabhi Sitaramaiah was defeated by Subhash Bose. Mahatma Gandhi asked his supporters to resign from Congress working committee. So there was a deep kind of lack of confidence or issue between the two. The Congress left were disunited and failed to support Bose. Congress left supported Bose. That's why he could win the presidential kind of race. But later on, they had issues. We'll see that part in detail. Communists did not support Bose in his endeavors. That's correct. Communists wanted to focus on the main battle, that is the national struggle against British rule. They did not want to get involved in the ideological battle within Congress. The support of M.N. Roy and socialist leaders like Jayaprakash Narayan preferred Congress unity. That is again related to the same. Bose failed to win the confidence of Mahatma Gandhi. That is perfectly correct. So it's not right. Sorry, it's not wrong. Correct. And Congress left was disunited, failed to support Bose. This is wrong because supported Bose. That's why he could win the presidential race. 1, 3, and 4. Option is C. All right, let's move to the next question. What's the following statement regarding British policy in Awadh immediately after annexation? Awadh was annexed by Governor General Lord Dalhousie on the pretext of misgovernance. Talukdars means local zamindars were dispossessed of their estates but allowed to retain their arms and fort. This is wrong. When they were dispossessed, their forts were demolished. Question is directly from NCERT. NCERT themes in Indian history, part 3, that is modern India, class 12. You can see line by line, all the pieces of information are given in one paragraph related to revolt of 1857. The summary revenue settlement was made in 1856, assuming talukdars were outsiders. This is correct. That's why they were removed from their positions. The British believed in taking revenue directly from peasants because they thought that whatever the portion was being pocketed by talukdars or zamindars, that could also be pocketed by the British. And the British were here to exploit India to the maximum possible extent. These statements are correct. So 2 and 3. This, after that, this. We'll try. Let's move to the next question. Consider the following assertion. The genesis of political alliance between based on the community lay in the very nature of Montagu chance for reforms. Let's correct this statement here, assertion, because Montagu chance for reforms carried forward the policy of separate electorates, which was introduced in India through Minto-Morley reforms in 1909. So separate electorates were granted to the Anglo-Indians, Indian Christians. 6. Which of the following statement support the above assertion? So these are the pieces of information. You have to use them as pieces of information so that you can draw the conclusion mentioned above. Reforms retained and extended the principle of separate electorates. That's correct, because what was started in 1909 was carried forward and was expanded here. Second, separate electorates were supposed to counter the Indian nationalism. That was the purpose, divide and rule. Divide et impera, the old Roman philosophy. Deprived classes rallied around the favors inherent. That's correct, because Dr. B.R. Ambedkar raised this issue in 1932 when roundtable conference or conferences were held, and he got the Kiminal Award or the MacDonald Award. All three are correct here. 1 to 3, D. Pandit Mallikarjuna Mansu, the famous classical singer of Karnataka, he was associated with Jaipur Atroli Gharana. Gharana means a particular family or the lineage in music, dance, in Hindustani music particularly, that carries a particular philosophy or ideology. In which of the following, in which among the following texts does the term Chitrapatni is mentioned in Atharva Veda? This is in the context of the increasing importance of land, increasing importance of agriculture. Chitrapatni, the mistress of the field, that's Atharva Veda. Which of the following carnatic music ragas? Ragas means melodies, is similar to rag bilaval in Hindustani music. Hindustani music is the music of northern India in medieval times. This was the result of the assimilation of traditional Indian Carnatic music and Persian music brought by Turks. Carnatic music means the traditional Indian music which was more dominant in southern parts of India. So this is again a simple information point or simple fact. If you know it, you can easily take it. Dhira Sankarnaharan is the contemporary or a similar to Rag Bilaval of Hindustani music. If you have any issue, just feel free to put in comment section and I'll be happy to take that up. Artificially fixed rupee to rupee sterling exchange prescribed by Hilton-Young Commission 1926 was adopted by British government. So this Hilton-Young Commission was appointed to look into the issues related to Indian currency, and of course India was under British colonial rule, so every change that was carried out was to benefit the British, was to facilitate the outflow of Indian wealth from India to London or India to Britain. In that context, you have to see it for the following reasons: aiding the flow of remittances from India and maintaining India's credit worthiness. That's correct, because the ratio here was put at 1s6d. Earlier ratio used to be 1s4d. SNDS stands for shilling, D stands for pence. This was a kind of subunit of British pound that time. You don't have to really worry about that depth. It was not for providing support to importers, because if you are improving the value or kind of appreciating the currency, imports become a little cheaper, but that was not the concern. of the British. Increasing exports, of course, once you are appreciating the currency, the exports become costlier. Like in current times, Indian rupee is depreciating. It has gone, say, past 96, is moving towards century. Many experts say that is going to facilitate Indian exports. So devaluation or depreciation of currency facilitates export because the cost of local products become cheaper in international market. Preventing the depreciation of rupee in terms of gold, that was indirectly associated but not the direct concern. The first was the direct concern, clearly mentioned in Hiltonian Commission report, and this is easily available in books like Bipin Chandra and the books of R.C. Dutt. Next one, please. Let's move to question number 13 here. Consider following statement. Pali texts contain the first definite reference of the coins like Kahapana or Karsharpana. Karsharpana was a silver coin in ancient times. Nikha or Niksha, these are Pali versions of Sanskrit words. Niksha means a gold coin. Kamsha was a silver coin, and Kakanika was also a silver copper coin, mixed coin, in fact, low value currency. That's correct. The literary evidence from Pali text is corroborated by archaeological evidence of punch-marked coins from many sites. That's correct. Both are correct here. The above statements have been associated with the following. Monetization of economy is the phenomena depicted here. Monetization of economy, use of coins or use of fixed value coins, that is related to trade and commerce, and trade and commerce are the basis of urban life. So 6th century BC, the 5th century BC, that was a period of second urbanization in Indian subcontinent. First urbanization was in the times of Harappan civilization, and this was the phase of second urbanization. Transition to money economy, once coins became frequent or coins were used frequently, it means this indicates transition to money economy. Both are correct here. Option is C. Let's move to the next question here. Which of the following temples have a Nagara style? There are two main styles of architecture or temple architecture in India. One is Nagara style, that is popular, or that was popular in northern parts of India, and second was Dravida style, that was popular in southern parts of India. So if I can tell you little precisely or briefly in map here, so Nagara style was here in northern parts, in southern parts was Dravida style, and in this part Deccan was the mix of two, that was called Vesara style or the Chalukyan style of architecture. This was having features of both. At times there were different temples of both these styles constructed at the same place. Malagiti Shivalaya Badami, this was a Dravidian style temple, not Nagara style. Achimaligoodi temple has a Nagara style shikhar. Shikhar means the top portion. Again, if I can give you the brief stuff here, this upper portion is what we call shikhar, and this is a sanctum sanctorum or Garbhagara. Achimaligoodi temple has a shikhar of Nagara style. The Shavtar temple, Devgarh, this is Nagara style. Virupaksha temple has Dravida style upper portion or Vimana. Vimana was the upper portion of Garbhagara in Dravida style. Shikhar was the upper portion of Garbhagara in Nagara style. So 2 and 3, read carefully, take care of the note kind of concerns, and if you have read these things, they're quite easy, but you have to go deep, and this time these 4 examples are there. Next time you may have 4 different examples. So you have to prepare holistically. You can't just move on the surface and say, okay, I can tackle prelims or I can tackle main exam. You do not know from where questions is going to come, but if you cover things holistically, if you cover things in a very patient manner, then let UPSC ask from any side, any dimension, any corner, you're going to be comfortable. You will not be sweating in examination hall. Among the 4 forms of existence recognized in Jainism, which of the following is not included? Yaksha is not included. Then 4th one is Nariki. Nariki means Narak ke Nivasi, those entities which live in hell or hell beings. So that is B. Devas, Manushas and Triyancha, these are part. 4th one is Nariki, not Yaksha. Alisa, Lashya. Lashya, if you can just understand Lashya, you can get the answer to this question. Is it Lashya or kind of Rodra. There are two different terms used in Indian culture, Rodra and Lasya. Lasya means feminine, indicating joy, indicating enthusiasm, and Rodra means anger. Lord Shiva used to have Rudra and Ananda, two forms of his dances. Lasya dances performed by goddess Saraswati. This is a term used in Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra, and these Ananda, Rudra, and Lasya, all these terms are coming from the Natya Shastra of Bharat Muni. That is the most important book on Indian dance, music, and drama, or the theatre. So this is joyous form of folk dance. This is depicted in Bagha caves. Bagha caves are in Dhar district. You can change it. Dhar district of MP. There are 9 caves here, and these caves are beautiful paintings. And some of these paintings are representing the community folk dance, indicating joy. Consider following statements relating to the use of place value. Place value, if I can tell you, let's say 5, 6, 7, 8. What's the value of 8? It's a unit scale, so 8. Place value of 7, 77, and then 0. Place value of 6 is 600. So that's the meaning. You have to have little idea of everything. We can't cram things. If you start cramming, okay, place value, and you not know what is called place value, then things are going to get messed up when you face the pressure of actual exam. So you should know Aryabhatta invented it in Gupta times, place value system. Earliest epigraphic use of the place value system is found in Mankani plates of Gujarat. That's correct. In the 9th century, the place values became general in inscriptions all over the India. These became common phenomena. Indians are greatly involved in mathematics. Still today, if you see, if Americans have to look for STEM graduates, they're going to look at India or maybe China also at times. Second is correct. Place values have been found in Sanskrit inscriptions Southeast Asia. From India, they moved to Southeast Asia, and the Arabs who came to India in 6th century, they carried Indian mathematics, Indian science and technology to Arab world or the Middle East, and from Arab, the Indian mathematics, Indian number system reached Europe. So whatever Europeans are using today, they owe almost everything to India. They learned mathematics, they learned most of science from India. Of course, the colonization process, the 200 years of British rule made us believe that we Indians were nothing. They targeted our self-esteem. But today, India is rising, and with officers like you, we are going to make our country great, and we will definitely take it to the level of developed country by 2047, maybe even before that. All three are correct here. D. Consider the following statements about archaeological findings in Harappan towns. There's a wide occurrence of spindle. Spindle whorls means takli. Takli means a kind of object having a disc, and that was used to convert cotton into thread. These have been found in houses. It means the spinning was done at the level of individual house. This is a labor intensive process, very slow process. It means people used to spin, or people used to make thread in their houses. That's the meaning here. Absence of a spinning wheel. A spinning wheel was introduced in India by the Turks in 13th century or later part of 12th century. First one is, this statement is correct, so you have to just read them out. Weight and measurement scales, we have found weight and measurement scales. From Mohenjo-daro, we have a kind of bronze scale having cut marks or measurement marks. We have weight system in decimal and binary proportions. That's correct. There are houses built in large part big bricks, relatively spacious courtyards. So they used to have house, a courtyard, or the kind of common area, open area in between, and the rooms were around that open courtyard. Which of the following inferences can be drawn from above statements? So these statements are correct. Let's see what we can infer from it. Statement 1 suggests that spinning was a laborious activity done at home, because spindle whorls have been found in houses. It means spinning was done at the level of individual families or individuals in their homes. Statement number 2 suggests that the extent of scientific knowledge that the Harappans possessed. Of course, once they had decimal system, once they had measurement system, once they know wheel, once they knew many other things, they had very advanced knowledge of science and technology. Both are correct here. Third one, statement 3 suggests that emergence of common property. This is not a common property. Once they had their own houses, it means this is kind of individual property. It's not a collective ownership. Okay, people are living in common houses, multiple families live together. When multiple families live together, we say common or the collective ownership of property. This is individual ownership of property. That's why Harappan civilization was so well developed. Third is wrong here, 1 and 2. Question number 19. So we are coming to the end of history, culture. A couple of more questions are left out here. If you have something, you can put your questions in comment and I'll be happy to take. Which of the following statements about Eka movement? Eka movement was started by Madari Pasi in eastern parts of UP in 1921-22. This was a movement against extreme or very high demand of land rent by zamindars. When you say rent was demanded by zamindars, so this was a phenomena in zamindari areas. Bardoli Satyagraha was launched in 1928. This was against demand or significant increase in land revenue demand. If you have read Bipin Chandra or NCERT, also you'll know that 30% was initial demand. It was later reduced to 21.97. But when Indians agitated, they organized Satyagraha successfully, the demand was reduced to 6.97% or increase was reduced to 6.97%. Eka movement was supported and organized by Congress. It's not a Congress stuff here. Bardoli Satyagraha was a campaign against enhancement of land revenue, while Eka movement was a protest against excessive extraction. So option number C is correct here. These are the farmers' agitation or peasants' agitations. Sardar Patel became Sardar here in Bardoli Satyagraha. The women of Bardoli gave him the title Sardar here in 1928. Let's move to the next question. Consider the following statement about Rig Vedic period. So there are so many questions from Rig Veda. You have to prepare things holistically. Once again, I'm telling you repeatedly, because sometimes you'll have questions from Rig Veda. Next time you may have questions from Mauryan period. Next time you may have questions from Gupta period. If you cover things holistically, if you put in your effort, then only you can sleep well till the night. Somebody said in military, the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. If you work hard during the days of your preparation, exam day would be a cakewalk, and that's what many of our students have done, because we work really hard. We do not let students relax during the preparation period. We do not want that they should cry on the day of exam. We do not want that they should lose their sleep after the exam is over. After the exam is over, they should have a peaceful time, a relaxing time, so that they could recover the energy and they could focus with greater attention or greater energy for main exam. Let's look at the question here. Irrigation from the wells allowed agriculture to expand away from floodplains and strips of rivers margin in the present Punjab and Haryana. Of course, all of you have read this, correct? Draught animal. Draught animal means the domesticated animal. The animal that has been domesticated, that's the meaning of draught animal, cows or bulls and buffaloes. Power was employed to draw, so domesticated animal power or animals were used to pull water from the well. That's correct. Which of the following informations support the above statement? There is evidence in Rig Veda of the use of Ashma Chakra, stone pulley wheel, and Achava, strapped wooden pails to draw water. These machines or these mechanisms were used with the help of animals to pull water from the well, or that support well-based irrigation system in Rig Vedic age. Mention has been made in Rig Veda of the use of implements like Parashu. Parashu means axe, Datra, Darati or sickle. These are not related to the expansion of agriculture as such, but these were agricultural implements. We'll see that out, whether they are related to the upper assertions. There is a history of the use of ox even before Rig Veda for plowing the land and pulling the carts. Of course, ox was used even in Harappan times to pull the carts, probably to pull the plow also. Now, come back to the question once again. The statements, the following information support the statement given above. Here, question is about use of animal to pull water from the well. Here, the question is about development of irrigation facilities, and in that development of irrigation facilities, these sickles and these axes do not really have any role to play. These were agriculture implements, but were not related to irrigation either directly or indirectly. So second one doesn't really fit here. Third one fits because If we knew animal, those animals could have been used to pull the water from the well. So 1 and 3, that is C. One more. This question is about a home kingdom, a home kingdom that was from 13th to 17th centuries in Assam part of India or the northeastern parts of India. There was a very powerful home kingdom. They had even fight with Mughals. They acted as, the question is very simple here. This is about moidums, also referred as maidams or the resting place of dead bodies. That's the literal meaning of maidans or madams here. Resting place of dead bodies, or you can simply say these are the cremation or these are the kind of burial grounds. They are not fortresses or army fort. They were not centers of recreation. These are cremation ground. They were ground for burial of royal nobles. That's the only point valid here. They were not related to drill. So only 3, that is C. So dear students, this is about the history and culture questions. Go through the issues. Now we will always be available here on this platform to help you for your main examination, upcoming main exam, as well as we'll be launching foundation course and other courses for you. Because what everyone has realized, what every student was requesting us, that sir, you should have the team of senior most faculties, because the teachers having the experience of 10, 15, 20 years, they understand different patterns. And you have to know that every year the new teachers will say this is out of the trend, or this trend was different. Trend is not different. The teachers do not understand the trend. You have to rely on the teachers who know what is the trend. We have to have the ability to anticipate future. If we can't anticipate future, it means we have not learned from history. And that's what Karl Marx said, those who refuse to learn from history, they are bound to repeat it. They are bound to suffer due to that. So take care. All the best. Feel free to connect with me if you have anything hereafter. God bless you. Shabbir sir.
वो लगाने वाले थे Am I audible to all of you online? Prakriti, Shubham, Sambha, Prajapati, Masoom. Am I audible to all of you? रिस्पॉन्स नहीं है, चल रहा है कि नहीं मुझे पता नहीं. आप कंफर्म करोगे चल रहा है कि नहीं? Yes? Okay. Okay, fine. So we start off our discussions for geography. For those not initiated, my name is Shabbir. Hi Rakesh, hello. Ram, Sanjay, Devi, Manoj. Fine, all of you, welcome. Welcome. It's a pleasure being here and talking to all of you about the prelims question paper. So like I said, I am Shabbir. I am a geography teacher, optional and GS. I'll give you my first quick inputs or my impressions about the paper. Before that, if you can tell me what do you think about the paper? आपने देखा है पेपर, आपको क्या लगता है पेपर आसान है, मुश्किल है, ट्रिकी है, because all kind of information coming in. Okay, so what do you think? आपको क्या लगता है पेपर कैसा है? Any input from your side, all of you? Hi, Prajapati, Manoj. Because see, a lot of impressions about the paper comes from the first quick review. हम पेपर उल्टा लेते हैं, कुछ क्वेश्चन देख लेते हैं, एक आध पढ़ा नहीं पढ़ा हुआ, okay, and we have some our own estimate about it's good or bad or our own impression. Lengthy paper, tough paper, okay, fine. If you ask me, you know what? Last year, 25 ka paper, when we started evaluating, most of us agreed the paper was very tough. Most of us agreed was paper tough and the cutoff come hoga. In fact, मेरा अपना assessment था, the cutoff will be below 85. But if you look at the actual cutoff, it was higher. A lot of people who claim to have even scored 90 couldn't clear it. So what happens is, when you 6-7 lakh students give the paper, you must understand that 15,000 qualify or 13,000 qualify for the mains, and those who qualify generally are those who have very good base. Many of them are also appearing for the second time. Many of them have a good understanding of the concepts. So jitna bhi tough paper ho, okay, it's very unlikely the cutoff will crash. So my estimate, if you ask me, is first look, it looks tough, but I think the paper was a tricky paper. The paper was a very intelligent paper. The paper was a very smart paper. अगर आप करने बैठोगे, if you go by choice, I'll show that to you, you'll realize the question paper, बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन जो टफ लग रहे हैं, that is because हम ढंग से चॉइस पढ़ नहीं रहे हैं. The statements are so beautifully written and those gaps are hidden in the statements. बहुत बार आंसर उन्हीं स्टेटमेंट्स में है, वो आंसर उन्हीं चॉइसेस में है. आप ध्यान से पढ़ोगे, आपको पता चल जाएगा what is right, what's wrong. Of course, you must have some base there. ठीक है? So if you ask me, lengthy, yes, but वो भी मैं, I will not agree with everybody, but it was definitely a tricky paper. And what looked like long questions actually were not too many of them. और 2-3-4 क्वेश्चन के लिए आप बोलोगे पूरा पेपर लेंथी है. Okay, so I'm differing in the general assessment जो भी है. But yes, this is a tricky paper. Many of them will score very, very low, but those who qualify, I'm sure they'll get good marks. I'm sure they'll be able to manage good marks because they have presence of mind. Lot of times your score will depend on आप question कैसे process करते हो, आपका attempt strategy क्या है. One of the mistakes students make is they attempt the paper sequentially. पहले 1 किया, फिर 2 किया, फिर 3 किया, फिर 4. वो गलत है. You must have a quick eye to pick up the more important questions, a quick eye to pick up the more easy question first. ठीक है? You are frustrated in the examination. कोई बात नहीं, ठीक है? Let's see one by one what are the questions here. Okay, the first question, I'm doing the geography and environment questions together. ठीक है? So this is a set A question 31 में है, ये set B में question 11 है, set C में question and set D में question 21 है. Okay, it says Tungurahua volcano declared as geopark by UNESCO is in which country? Now see, even if you have done current affairs, many of you would miss this. But if you understand a bit of geography, geology, you will know that in South America, Ecuador and Chile have some of the highest number of volcanoes. And Bolivia में बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं है, even Peru में बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं है. In fact, most of the active volcanoes we know, if you have heard about the volcano called as Cotopaxi or the volcano called as Chimborazo, okay, both these volcanoes, very powerful ones, they are in Ecuador. So अगर मैं mark कर रहा होता intelligently, if I go for smart guess, I would have marked Ecuador. Okay, so this is how you mark. You understand the basic geology and then you try to mark. Okay, तो इसका Ecuador answer है. तो change कैसे करना है, कहाँ से? अच्छा, ऊपर स्लाइड करके. माधव नेशनल पार्क, अगेन क्वेश्चन 22 सेट डी में है. ये काफी न्यूज में रहा है. रिसेंटली डिक्लेयर्ड एज टाइगर, प्रोजेक्ट टाइगर रिजर्व डिक्लेयर किया गया है. एंड इसमें जो मिस्टेक है ये वाला है, माधव नेशनल पार्क डज नॉट हैव अ बॉर्डर विद एमपी एंड राजस्थान. राजस्थान के साथ नहीं है. So if you know this fact, you get the answer right. 1 and 2 are correct. Okay, answer is B. इसमें कुछ ऐसे समझने वाली चीज है नहीं. The next question. Okay. Now this I think is a very core geography question. अंडमान और निकोबार के क्लाइमेट के बारे में पूछा है. In this one is it is defined as humid tropical coastal. Now I would wait here because Andaman Nicobar Islands are more of equatorial type of climate. But ठीक है, ये गलत नहीं है. We can mark this one. It receives rainfall from southwest monsoon and northeast monsoon. ये तो पक्का करेक्ट है. Maximum precipitation between December and May. ये गलत है. December, May में इंडिया में we have rainfall only in the Coromandel coast because of the retreating monsoons and some bit of rains western disturbance. So अगर इसमें देखेंगे चॉइस तो पूरा गलत है. So ये गलत हो जाएगा, ये गलत हो जाएगा and we don't have only one, only two. So only two नहीं है, तो ये बनता है आपका आंसर. 1 and 2 is this is a conceptual question. You had to know this concept to answer it. The next one. Next one is again about the peninsular block of India. Again, a very conceptual question. Okay, you cannot make mistake with this. West coast, there has been submergence. ये correct है. ये submergence के वजह से ही we have the Western Ghats formation. Mahendragiri Hills, part of Odisha, Vilikonda Hills, parts of Andhra region में ये भी correct है. ये वाला statement wrong है. Okay, इसमें mistake क्या है? That plateau rivers जो हैं वो fast moving नहीं होते हैं. They are slow rivers. They are very mature rivers and not very deep and V-shaped. So this is wrong. इसमें 1 and 2 is correct. Okay, about and it's a conceptual question. ये आपका गलत होना नहीं चाहिए. Confidently correct होना चाहिए था ये वाला. The next one is about foxtail orchid. Again, a conceptual question. If you know orchid क्या होता है? Orchid is one of the epiphytes. They grow on other plants, other trees. Okay, orchids are very special to Northeast. Sikkim is a state known for orchids. So it is epiphytic orchid. ये correct है. Okay, so 1 तो होना ही है. The species is endemic. अगर 1 right है. Okay, and so automatically you have to focus on these two. Okay, and this I would have taken a guess. Okay, it's possible the state flower. So in दोनों में right answer is 1 and 3. So more than giving right answer, I'm telling you, आप इसको कैसे score करते? How would you attempt this question? So you had to know the concept called as what are epiphytes. Sorry. Now इसमें I don't have to teach much. You just had to know this about the FAO. So I'll say this is not something all would have known. What is the 4 betters? So 4 betters because देखो FAO है and it's about it's about aquaculture, it's about livelihood, it's about fisheries. FAO is about food itself. So food itself में I would have removed D, I would have removed C because coral reef. I would be stuck with A and B. So इसमें बड़ा narrow है. Some of you may have gone for better oceans, but the right is better life. Okay, so इसमें smart guess बनता. आप eliminate करते दो, you would have been stuck in 2. Okay, and then you would have taken a chance, 50% accuracy possible. But in this particular question, the answer is B, about the FAO. Okay. Thank you. About Lake Turkana. Now, this is one of those set questions. Har saal, they are asking you one lake from Africa. The source of each questions. Another problem, Aditya. Lot of questions are from current affairs. Some basic understanding. There's no one book. कोई एक book पढ़ के आपका नहीं होने वाला. This is not logic, pure luck. No, dharma varna. It's not pure luck. This is your mistake. Okay, there is lot of pattern and conceptual basis होना चाहिए. Okay, so source of each question you cannot trace very easily. Current affairs भी हैं, conceptual भी हैं. Okay, now this question, Lake Turkana. So you had to study the lakes of Africa. Whatever is by Africa, and in this one, okay, Lake Turkana is known as the Jade Sea. Jade is one type of a mineral gem which is very green type of color. Jade, it's right. And it is this one. So 3 right hai. Okay. Now in these two, a lake is situated in South Sudan along the eastern fringe of Sahara Desert. Lake Turkana is also called as Lake Rudolph, and it is in the African Rift Valley. If you know about the Rift Valley of Africa, okay, it is in that Rift Valley. Lake Edward hai, Lake Turkana or Rudolph hai. So by that logic, okay, this statement is wrong. ये गलत है. तो बचता है 1 and 3. Choice अगर हटा देते हो, 2 is wrong. So the only possible choice is B. 1 and 3 are correct. हालांकि we might have doubt about this statement, but choice में eliminate हो जा रहा है. So I'm saying you do not have to know every answer correctly. You have to understand, okay, and eliminate the important ones. Yes, yes, correct, Devesh. Absolutely correct. You need conceptual clarity here. Correct. The next one. Now about this question again, okay, it's about a RED project. RED project is a planned Vivo certificate hai. I don't know if you know this or not. Planned Vivo is given for a community participation. In afforestation, it's given for this participation. And in India, okay, in this question, answer is Khasi Hills. If you look at Khasi region, lot of programs are run with the communities. Of course, यहाँ पर भी है, but in Uttarakhand, the RED is not launched with community participation. In fact, I would have been confused between A and C. Okay, you take a chance in this question, Khasi. This is a fact. You had to know. You had no other way. But plan Vivo पता होना चाहिए. It's a initiative for community participation based forest management. The next one. Now, this I think is a very interesting question, typical question जो आप फंस रहे हो. See, all of you are supposed to know what is, okay, low emission development strategy long term. ये पता होना चाहिए. So this is right. Okay, this is something you all know this. This also I'm sure all of you know. The update जो हुआ है, India has changed its commitments. Okay. Now the third statement जो है, the climate resilient development necessarily depends on quick and short term. ये हो ही नहीं सकता. Any climate resilient systems cannot be quick and short term. They have to be long term. So ये statement ही गलत है. Okay. So when your statement 1 says long term is 30, 40, 50, 60 years की बात हो रही है. यहाँ पर target 270 है. Okay. And this is saying short term. तो ये statement गलत है. Now see, do not mark. The problem is exam pressure. आप ये 3 देख के mark कर दोगे. Okay. But question नीचे है. Of the 3 statements, there are 3 assertions here. One is empirically supported by statement 2. ये correct है. Okay. Because I want to do this, I am doing this. Correct. 2 contradicts the approach in the statement 1. ये भी correct है. Okay. 2 contradicts the approach. Okay. No, sorry. Contradicts. No, this is not. ये इसको कैसे मिटाएं इसको हम? Statement 2. Here मिटा दो. Yes, yes. So I'm repeating this question for all of you. In this one, this is correct. Okay. Statement 2 contradicts. Okay. Statement 2 contradicts implicit meaning. ये वाला गलत है. This actually are right together. 1 and 3 together establish the premise of long term. ये statement गलत है. So in this question, okay, 1 and 3 cannot operate together. So this statement, okay, is wrong. So इस question में आपका answer होगा 1 only. Which of the following is correct? Okay, 1 only is correct. Right? So this is a very interesting phrasing of the question. More than getting right answer, अगर आपको ये पता होता and a bit of presence of mind here, don't answer with these 3 statements. Answer with these 3 assertions. You would have got the answer right. Right? What do I say about the new type of what? New type of, what's your question? I did not get it. You can write it down your question here. Okay, the next one. Western Hulock gibbons. Now, gibbons as a species is important. गिबॉन्स, ये कुछ 5-6 स्पीसीज हैं, डॉल्फिन्स, डुगोंग्स, गिबॉन्स, हॉर्नबिल्स, they keep asking. And gibbons, okay, now these are a special type of apes. We call these apes as lesser apes. They are not very large. They are definitely not like gorillas. So इस question में they are heavy built like gorillas, ये statement गलत है. Okay, but yes, they are agile. In fact, gibbons are the only apes who are entirely living on the trees. क्या है मैं समझ नहीं पाया. Yes, yes, Manoj. The question is making students think analytically correct. All current affairs are useless. Okay, rely on newspaper. Dharma Varma, ऐसा नहीं है. But yes, the way you read current affair is not the best way of reading. Okay, that I agree. Okay, yes, yes, Rakesh. The 3 statement, the previous one, you're right. So please let me know what impressions are. I can answer here. Let's cut back here. इस question में you had to study gibbons. Gibbons आप miss नहीं कर सकते. In fact, northeast में we have a special sanctuary. We made also a corridor for the movement of the gibbons. Gibbons are the only apes who are entirely on the trees. ये जो word है ना, that they have brachiation. This basically means some type of adaptations where the long arms, their fingers, they completely can live on the trees. They don't have to come down. So इस question में I think we should have known this, that northeast में sanctuary है, ये correct है. They have specialized ability to swing between trees, ये भी correct है. But this one is wrong, that they are built like gorillas. No, gibbons are called as lesser apes. So इस question में third statement is wrong, and therefore the answer is 1 and 2. I'm really impressed with the type of questions they have set. It only shows, somebody is thinking and preparing the questions. Look at this now. Again, very interesting question. You don't have to prepare specifically for this. अब देखो इसमें क्या है, mangroves. Okay, mangroves are they reduce tidal energy, correct? They store fresh water. Okay, and they are ideal for paddy cultivation. ये गलत है. Mangroves don't store fresh water, and for paddy cultivation, the type of soil required, in fact, in general, जहां भी mangroves होते हैं, they are not good for cultivation. They are more important ecosystem. They are more important for coastal protection. Mangrove region is under the water largely. So ये statement गलत है. They are salt sensitive roots. ये भी गलत है. They have salt tolerant roots, not sensitive roots. They have adaptation to survive in the salts. तो ये भी गलत है. In any case, okay, when mangroves होगा, you cannot have fresh water aquaculture. ये गलत statement है. So even if you do not know the exact specifics, if you understand the meaning of the concepts you are done, तो इसमें 1 and 2 गलत हो जाएगा. Okay, only 3 will be correct. The answer is D. So there's this question here. The next question. The next question about the Vizhinjam port. Another very interesting one. Vizhinjam port, we have got Palghar port, a very big ports that we are planning for India. It says, the first statement says, it is exclusively for domestic cargo. ये गलत है. That it is primarily for passenger cruise. ये भी गलत है. It's a very large port, almost like a transshipment port बनेगा. It cannot be only domestic and only passenger. इतना अगर common sense है, you eliminate this, आपका ये बचता है. Answer, okay, is D, which is 3 only. So I'm just showing you how if you had been a bit more attentive, if you had a bit more presence of mind, without getting nervous, you could have answered this. Now this question, again, about the rivers. एक river पूछता ही है, it asks, the name of the river, okay, which flows through 3 countries, okay, it is antecedent. 3 countries में अगर बोले हम, okay, तीस्ता is India, Bangladesh, ये हट जाएगा. Brahmaputra again is China and India, ये भी हट जाएगा. Indus and Satluj बचता है. It does not form distributaries. Indus forms distributaries. Indus comes and drains. The place called Hyderabad in Pakistan. वहां से it becomes channels like this. So Indus भी गलत हो जाएगा. In any case, okay, in this question, Satluj is the only one, okay, which satisfies all the three statements. Okay, so again, a bit of presence of mind. You are done here. The next question. Uttar Pradesh shares its boundary with highest number of Indian states. So these are some facts. Any preparation map based you should know. The basic facts like how many states of India, which states has longest boundary, which states has maximum bordering states, which state has the most number of international borders. So I think ये पता होना चाहिए आपको. This is right. Rajasthan has the longest border. No. Okay. It is West Bengal which has the longest border of India. Okay. तो ये गलत है. And Sikkim, the only state with only one state. No. Okay. It is Meghalaya. Meghalaya also has a boundary with one state. Assam के साथ में. This statement में we have one only is correct. Okay. Again, a basic question, not really. So if you compare the questions across different subjects, I think geography में questions were relatively far more doable. This question, Amur Falcons, again, बहुत ही news में रहा है. In the Twitter, there are some contributors. We have IFS officers who keep posting on Twitter. So a lot of information of environment I know from social media also. You have to teach in Hindi medium also, like Ritesh sir. Rakesh, no, I cannot teach in Hindi medium at all. I can talk in Hindi but not teach Hindi medium. That will be insincere effort from my side. What are your thoughts on Nobel Prize, ethics, case study, army corps? Okay, Dharma Varma, you don't have to know everything, as simple as that. Okay, in 100 questions, if you get 3, 4, 10 answers wrong, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. ये वो वाले questions हैं. Okay, but point is, the question you should have got right, you should have got right. You are missing out the more important ones, and you're getting trapped on these outliers. इसको छोड़ देते, इसको गलत कर देते, कोई दिक्कत नहीं होता. Okay, come here. So in this one, Amur Falcons में, Amur Falcons बहुत news में है. They migratory birds. They go to South Africa. So they sustain local conservation efforts. ये correct है. Okay. Now the second statement में, the success of tracking system that guide the migratory birds. Now this is where the mistake is. The tracking system is not to guide the birds. The tracking system is for the researchers to know how the birds are moving, how the birds are migrating. So yes, statement galat hai. Just read carefully. If you do not know about Amur Falcons properly, or what, ye agar pata hota to aap mark kar dete. There's a smart one here. And third, okay, Amur Falcons have adapted to permanent residency. No, Amur Falcons are migratory birds. Okay, they move from Asia towards Africa. They come from parts of Mongolia and then they go towards South America, South Africa. So this also is wrong. This question में ये दोनों गलत है. And you can know this just by basic understanding. Answer is one only. What we are trying to emphasize is, okay, you have to apply your mind. ये question देखो, okay, दिखने में बहुत tricky लग रहा है, rainfed agriculture, mission of, but it says rainfed agriculture encourages monoculture. ये हो ही नहीं सकता. Rainfed agriculture is for dry regions where you must have lot of crop rotation, you must have lot of local species, you must have water efficient system, you must rely on rainfall management, micro irrigation. ये तो गलत है. Okay, rainfed cannot be monoculture. Rainfed cannot be rice in irrigated regions. Impossible है. Rainfed का मतलब ही है the area does not have irrigation properly. And the third one, okay, yes, it's right. It does help minimizing climate risk. If you know some basic concepts, you are done. In this, only 3 is correct. Other 2 statements are wrong. Following, now this you had to know. There's no way I could have taught this to you. ये वो question है. Either you know or do not know. So OAQ text, some certification है. Certification where it is chemical free certification, that it is ecologically friendly. So you just have to know this, nothing more. In fact, in this, both of them are correct. Okay, so both 1 and 2 are correct. Nothing to teach conceptually. You just have to know this as a part of current affairs. Now, this is again a very standard question. Har saal they ask you about the conflict areas. They ask you about jahan war hote hain. Sometimes Ukraine, sometimes about Spain, okay, Sudan, South. This time they've asked about Persian Gulf. और ये तो 100% होना चाहिए. Syria does not have a border along Persian Gulf. Okay, similarly, Egypt doesn't have border along Persian Gulf. It's a very basic. The 8 countries which have borders in the Persian Gulf region. इसका answer 1 and 3 है. Okay, you had no doubt in getting this right. Nirantar again, I will not discuss this much. You had to know the facts. One of those initiatives by the government to coordinate between agencies. So इसका ये दो statement गलत है. It is managed. The survey is done by Wildlife Institute of India. Okay, and research management is not by Zoo Authority. It's done by Indian Council for Forest Research. Okay, so ये दोनों statement गलत है. Okay, and this of course is right. Okay, so this is the fact you had to know, nothing else. I mean, it's current affair based, no conceptual as such in this. You could have got this wrong, but that's okay. Or some of you would have left this one. Now, this is another smart question. This says, एक तो Bharat forecast system is in news. Okay, this has been one of those recent innovations for monsoon, and it says it is a high resolution. ये कह रहा है, ये आपको पता होना चाहिए था. In this, it is for forecast at panchayat level correct. It has a high resolution up to 4 kilometers वाला, and developed by IIT Delhi. ये गलत है. It was developed by Ministry of Earth Sciences in collaboration with IMD and Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology in Pune. So, ये fact question है. You have to know this. इसमें only one is correct. About green hydrogen, again, if you read green hydrogen as decarbonized hydrogen from natural gas, no. Green hydrogen is something that you get only from electrolysis. The one I get from natural gas, we call this as blue carbon, blue hydrogen. ये statement गलत है. Okay, produced by electrolysis, ये सही है, and this also is right. In this question, one is wrong. Okay, ये तो हट गया. This only remains 2 and 3 is correct. So I'm hoping you understand that some of the choices you can eliminate if you know some basic concepts. Following is correct of India's deep ocean mission. It was launched by Ministry of Ports Shipping. Now, one thing I noticed recently, change करना है? अच्छा कर लो. One thing I am emphasizing on this year, they've asked a lot of programs, initiatives, they've asked certain schemes, and they've asked in good depth. Most of us, we just know the name of the scheme and it is for what. But what type of agency work, what are the coordinations there, so what is the mandate in detail. So I think that is another area you have to study in a bit more detail. Okay, try not to study only and focus only on just the name of the program. A lot of questions of those kind have been asked here. Right? Okay, so I'm almost done with the questions. ये वाला ये हो चुका. Okay, now this question about India's deep mission, I said, a Ministry of Ports and Shipping is the mistake. Okay, this initiative, I mean, I'm sure all of us have studied, the India's deep ocean mission. It is done by Ministry of Earth Sciences, not by Ports and Shipping. ये गलत हो गया. This is right and this is right. Samudrayan and Matsya 6000 और 3000 दोनों correct हैं. For this, the answer is 2 and 3 only. Okay. about this question. Maitri Setu is with Bangladesh, right? But you know, the names have been reversed. India has Sabroom and Bangladesh has Ramgarh. ये पलट दिया इन्होंने, ये गलत हो गया. Now, in this, Jhula Ghat is the Hindi name. Jhula Ghat cannot be with India and Myanmar. The Myanmar के साथ ये होने, because it's a Hindi name. Jhula Ghat is with Nepal. Okay, ये statement गलत है. And what's left is the third one. Okay, so Mechi Bridge. This is right. Okay, between Nepal and India. So that's this one. The next question. Move नहीं कर रहा. हो गया? Okay, sir, ठीक है. So, guys, this was a very quick review of the question paper. Okay, I hope the sequence was mismatched. Yes, Rakesh, correct. So, I leave it to the next discussion on economy. If you have any issues, you can let us know. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
Hello. Am I audible to everyone? So let's come to the economics question. So economics, a subject which is considered to be the most toughest one when it comes to the civil service examination. So I think in total around 15 or 16 questions came from economics area, and I would say the questions were not kind of tough, but obviously these are quite lengthy in nature. So we'll discuss the question one by one, and I'll also tell you whether this question is attemptable to a candidate who read economics in a general way and they only completed the most important areas, not everything, but obviously the sub things which we are covering generally. So let's come to the very first question. So this question is about a scheme called Sagarmala program of the government of India. So if you see, they have given 3 statements here. I would say this question is kind of lengthy and little tough. How? See, the Sagarmala program seeks to achieve port-led economic growth through cost-effective and sustainable coastal infrastructure. In the second statement, the success of the Sagarmala program is reflected in significant growth in coastal and inland waterway shipping along with the improved global port rankings. And Sagarmala 2.0 aims to position India as a global maritime innovation hub aligned with the Atmanirbhar Bharat and Viksit Bharat 2047 vision. Now, when you read this 3 statements, you will find that the statements are very simple and they are actually true. Okay. Now, when it comes to the 3 options, now they have simply provided, I think this is the first type that UPSC have given such kind of a question in the economics section. So if you read the first statement, what they are saying, statement 2 validates the effectiveness of the strategies envisioned in statement 1. Statement 3 extends the objective of statement 1 by embedding them into a feature-oriented innovation framework. And the third, if you read, statement 1 contradicts statement 2 by focusing only on traditional infrastructure instead of modern innovation. So when you read the flow of the statement, you will find that nothing is contradictory to anyone. All the statements are correct, and when it comes to reading one by one, you will find कि जो हमारी first two statements are, they are correct, and the third one, as there is no contradiction, then obviously the third one is incorrect. So answer is here B, 1 and 2. So answer is what? So answer is B, 1 and 2 is the answer, because as I'm saying, there is no contradiction here. Okay. So the point is what? Whatever schemes which are being currently run by government of India, specifically, this port led, जिसे सागरमाला का नाम दिया गया है. Then when it comes to road development, which has been given a name called Bharatmala project. So you can connect. Even, if you have not read this particular scheme and you're not very much aware about what exactly is being going on, then still this question is attemptable, I would say. So I would say this question is not tough. This question can be attempted with the basic knowledge of economics and the schemes which are being very much in news and also a kind of very much famous. So answer हमारा क्या है? Answer is 1 and 2. Okay, because third one is incorrect here. Now, let's move to the next one. So this is the first one. Now the second question. Now see this. Which of the following statement regarding the features of blockchain technology are correct? Again, this question is about what? This question is about this bitcoins and all. So what they're providing, records stored in database may be made visible to relevant stakeholders without risk of alteration. Copies of entries database are stored on multiple computers on a network syncing within seconds, and consortium blockchain is blend of public and private blockchain, allowing selective data access. Now, when you read all the four statements, you will find that only third statement is something which is not right. Why it is not right? Because this thing, that the bitcoins is something which is being made by the private sector for the purpose of payment, and there is no central bank at a global level which is backing it. So in that case, if you see and read the statement, you will find third statement is incorrect. तो यहाँ पे केवल हमारे इन चार में से third statement is incorrect and the remaining three statements are correct. Because if you read the fourth one, which is the base of the Bitcoin thing, the mathematical algorithms make it impossible to change or delete any data once recorded and accepted. So what is the answer here? Answer is basically 1, 2, and 4. So answer is C here. Okay. So answer is C in this case. Okay. Third statement is incorrect and the remaining three statements are correct here. Now move to the next question. And e-commerce, as you know, that we have Amazon, Flipkart, and the other, which are all being privately owned and they have comparatively monopoly in our economy. And that thing was in news. We need to have one particular thing which will take care of these kind of thing. So दो क्वेश्चन उससे रिलेटेड हमारे इस बार आए हैं. पहला ये, an e-commerce revenue model where the seller has control over pricing but doesn't keep products in stock and instead transfer customers' order and shipment details to a third-party supplier who then ships the goods directly to the customers is called. Now see, I would say this is something which is hardly being, read by anyone, or that was hardly, kind of in news, I would say. So in that case, I would say this question is something that you're supposed to leave if you're not aware about it, because it is comparatively more complicated, because you cannot do it in a hit way. Yeah, I'm not aware, okay, whatever I read, I will be able to, kind of provide it. Because when you read this particular statement, you will find the most correct answer with the help of explanation. If you're not aware about it, then normally what students have marked in this particular question, it's the transaction fee revenue model. But I'm telling you, the answer here is this one, the first one, the drop sharing model in this case. So that is the answer in this case. So drop sharing model is basically the one where this kind of features you people will be able to get there. तो यहाँ पे हमारा आंसर क्या है? आंसर है हमारा यहाँ पे A. Now let's move to the next question. Which of the following correctly represent the three key sub-indices of the Financial Inclusion Index of the Reserve Bank of India? Now, again, about this index, if you're aware, then you will be able to mark the answer. And here the answer is very simple. What is the answer? Answer is access, usage, and quality. So what is the answer here? Answer है हमारा यहाँ पे C is the answer in this case, access, usage. So different weightage is being given by RBI for the purpose of making this particular index of Financial Inclusion Index. Now, next question. Which one of the following best describe the key objective of India's open network for digital commerce? As I was saying that because of this Amazon and Flipkart, this particular thing has been come into light. So here, when you read the statement, you will find to allow government control over all digital commerce transactions. That is practically not possible if you read the options. To replace private e-commerce players, there is nothing like that. To break the dominance of large e-commerce platform by enabling interoperable access across network. So that is one which is the right statement in this case. तो यहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट ने बनाया बेसिकली इस चीज को डिजाइन इसलिए किया गया जिससे कि whatever monopoly we have in case of our economy, this Amazon and Flipkart, that can be taken care of. तो इसलिए यहाँ पे हमारा आंसर क्या है? C, to break the dominance of this so that lot of other people will be able to kind of access this, as this particular platform is charging comparatively lesser amount of user fee. Okay. Now next one. Next is yes. Which one of the following statement about unified payment interface and central bank digital currency is not correct? Do remember they're talking about not correct. That means the three statements are correct and one statement is incorrect here. The first one is UPI is a real-time payment system, but digital rupee is akin to a sovereign paper currency. That is correct because that is only in the digital form. In case of UPI, settlements for end users happen instantly as the money gets immediately debited or credited. But in case of digital rupee, there is no settlement as the wallet balance get transferred to another wallet. That is also correct. UPI transactions are recorded by banks and reflected in bank statement. But in case of digital rupee, no data is captured in the bank statement as transactions are from one wallet to another. That is also correct because that is what the rupee is all about. And then the last is what in both the cases, UPI and digital rupee, the liability lies with the users and the respective bank. That is basically incorrect here. So whatever is being said and provided here, when you read it, you will find that is not up to the, liability lies with the users and their respective banks. Basically, it is on the other side. So यहाँ पे जो हमारा आंसर है, that is your D. Okay. Now move next question. Which of the following statement about real world assets tokenizations are correct? Tokenization is the process of turning the real world asset into digital tokens using blockchain technology. Tokenization of real world asset offers 24/7 access, promoting financial inclusion. And the third is what tokenization of the real world assets will allow the access to high growth investment opportunities for individuals in India. That is also correct. So this question, I would say that people are hardly being aware about the process of tokenization. That is also not being discussed. So this is also one of the question I would say which is not attemptable if you're not aware about it, obviously. So I would say कि ये जो question है comparatively tough है because we're not having that kind of deep knowledge about it. तो ये question वो है जिसको हम यहाँ पे छोड़ सकते हैं. But yes, all the three statements are correct here, and the answer is what? 1, 2, and 3. Answer is A in this case. Let's move to the next one. A very simple question. A bond whose proceeds are used only to finance or refinance a combination of both environmental and social project is called what? Obviously, if it is only about environment, green bond. If it is only about social project, then it's a social bond. But when it comes to both the things, then you can say it is more about sustainability bond. So sustainability bond is one of the area where you can say the proceeds are basically being used for this particular purpose, ki social cause like education, healthcare, and this kind of things, and moreover for the environmental project also this particular thing is going to be used. So यहाँ पे जो हमारा answer होगा, that answer will be C in this case. So comparatively easy, and that is also being solved with the basic common sense if you're not having a deep knowledge about this particular thing. Okay. Next one. Which of the following statement about M1 exchange role in micro, small, and medium enterprises financing is correct? Now, do remember, when I read this question, I thought the question is going to be very tough. But seriously, when I read the options here, UPSC was, I would say, the paper setter was just making an option for the sake of making it, I would say. Because exchange is about what? It's about, providing money. But when you read the statement, what they have provided, M1 exchange provide collateral based loans to MSME. It's not a bank, it's an exchange. Obviously, that statement is incorrect here. M1 exchange facilitates discounting of invoices and bill of exchange for MSME. That is actually correct because that is one of the facility which is being given by this particular thing. And M1 exchange function is the credit rating agency for MSME. Obviously not correct out because we have a separate agency for these kind of things in case of any country here. तो यहाँ पे जो हमारा आंसर होगा वो क्या होगा? जो हमारा आंसर है यहाँ पे, that answer will be 2 only. So आंसर हमारा यहाँ पे है B. Okay. Now let's move to the next question. Which of the following best describes the crowding out effect in the context of fiscal policy? A question which is completely conceptual and very easy, I would say. Okay. So if you see a situation where private investment increase due to increased government spending, a situation where government borrowing leads to higher interest rates which reduce private investment, and there is no need to read any further statement because you know this thing. When it comes to the crowding out effect means what? That the government is borrowing a lot of money. And when the government is borrowing a lot of money in this case, you will find that the interest rate in the market will increase and the private sector is being left with comparatively lesser amount of money to borrow and spend in the market. So that's why there is no need to read even the third and fourth statement. So what you will say here, the answer here is, हमारा जो यहाँ पे आंसर है वो है हमारा B, a situation where government borrowing to leads to higher interest rates which reduces private investment. Okay. Now, let's move to the next question. Yes. Which of the following statement about insurance in aviation sector is correct? See, as you know, this time UPSC asked 2 questions about this particular about the airlines insurance. The second one is about the black box. And you know this thing. That particular thing has been asked by UPSC because of that Air India incident, the flight from Delhi to, I think Delhi or Ahmedabad to London. Okay, that was the flight. So that's why these 2 specific questions asked by UPSC, but nobody can predict कि ऐसा कुछ UPSC पूछ सकती है because of that incident also. तो यहाँ पे आप देखेंगे, aviation insurance covers the physical aircraft including the body, engine and onboard equipment. That is actually a correct statement. Under the Montreal Convention adopted in 1999 by over 130 countries, including India, airlines are strictly liable to pay compensation to the family nominees of every deceased passenger without requiring the family to prove fault. That is also correct because अगर वो fault ही prove करते चले जाएंगे तो मान के चलिए काम होगा कैसे? How the things actually work. So here हमारा जो आंसर है वो है हमारा C. 1 and 2 both the statements are correct here. Okay. Now next, which of the following statement about crowdfunding is are correct? अब देखिए जब हम क्लास में इस कॉन्सेप्ट को डिस्कस करते हैं about venture capital and the other, there we are discussing about it कि what exactly is the crowdfunding is. So a question of capital market. Crowdfunding is a solicitation of fund a small amount from multiple investors through a web-based platform or a social networking site for a specific project. That is correct. And SMEs are able to raise funds at a lower cost of capital without undergoing the rigorous procedure. That is what the procedure is in case of this particular thing. तो यहाँ पे भी हमारी दोनों statement सही हैं. तो आंसर हमारा यहाँ पे क्या है? Both 1 and 2 are correct. Answer is C here. Okay. अगला. With reference to different committees in India, consider the following details. See, that is what I was saying in the beginning of this particular video, that last year UPSC asked about certain departments. And students started mugging up all the departments, like what all departments we have in different ministries and the other. And this year, there is no such question. Now, this particular, if you see, they have asked a question about, this committee. The kind of question, I think, have appeared almost after, I think, around 4-5 years. Because last time UPSC asked this kind of question of committees and then you need to match around 4-5 years back, and there is no such question. The point is one, there is no such pattern. But what is required? A kind of a knowledge and moreover, a basic, जो हर साल हम लोग पढ़ते हैं, चीजों करते हैं, that is continuously we need to focus on. Okay. अब देखिए यहाँ पे अगर मैं आपको बताऊं तो यहाँ पे हमारे 4 ऑप्शंस हैं और जो 4 कमिटीज के नाम हमें दिए गए हैं. The question I would say is actually very, very tough because we know that certain committees are being there and they have a particular role in our country. for a particular area. But if you read the very first one, R.N. Malhotra Committee, Comprehensive Regulatory Reforms of Insurance Sector, and they have given here organization is IRDAI. That is actually correct. But if you see, if I'll tell you, the main purpose behind forming this particular committee was to make IRDA, not the comprehensive regulatory reforms of insurance sector. So in that case, this particular statement is incorrect here. LC Gupta committee preparing a roadmap for derivative trading, that is actually correct. Urjit Patel committee preparing a roadmap for reforming banks lending, that is actually not there. So that was mainly for the purpose of monetary policy framework, not for this particular thing. And then YH Malegaon committee reform in microfinance sector, RBI, that is actually correct. So यहाँ पे जो हमारी सही है वो है हमारा 2 and 4. तो आंसर है हमारा पे D. 2 and 4 is actually correct. Let's move to the next one. Consider the following statement about the NBFC. A question which is completely conceptual and can be easily solved, I would say. NBFCs cannot accept demand deposit. Demand deposit, you know what is demand deposit? It is a saving account and current account because they don't have a banking license. But yes, certain NBFC can accept the time deposit if they're being allowed by RBI. So first statement is actually correct. All the NBFCs operating in India have to be registered with the RBI. That is actually incorrect statement because you will find that we have certain NBFC which have been registered with IRDA and moreover with certain SEBI also. So that is actually incorrect because as soon as you will start reading about the the legal framework of the NBFCs, you will find that they have multiple regulators here for different purposes. So second हमारी incorrect है. So the second is incorrect. Obviously, I can eliminate this, and the first one is correct. So answer is what? A. 1 and 4. Okay. So deposit insurance facility to deposit insurance and credit guarantee corporation is not available. Definitely, because जब वहाँ पे current account saving account वाली बात ही नहीं है, so why this kind of facility will be provided over there? तो हमारा ये ठीक है और ये. So answer हमारा यहाँ पे क्या हुआ? Answer हुआ हमारा 1 and 4. That is actually the correct one. Okay. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. This question is about the MPI, multi-dimensional poverty index, which is calculated by UN and Niti Aayog both. And as you know, Niti Aayog, whatever they have included certain extra thing as per the Indian economy point of view. So MPI is calculated using Alkali-Foster methodology. That is actually correct. MPI calculated by Niti Aayog has a total of 12 indicators that you need to remember and you need to recall whether these are actually 12 or not. So 6, 2, 2, 2 and like this. Maternal health and bank accounts, common indicators in MPI, Niti Aayog and MPI of United Nations Development Program. That is actually incorrect. That is a catch because bank account is something which is a part of our index, not their index. So इसीलिए third is incorrect. So answer is what? 1 and 2. तो हमारा जो answer हुआ यहाँ पे 1 and 2 है for the question number this MPI. Okay. Now next one. Which of the following statement with respect to the revamped Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan are correct? The period of its implementation is 1st April 21 to this. Now I'll say this question is being kind of tough because exact date याद रख पाना comparatively मुश्किल होता है क्योंकि this is from 2022, not from 21. Second, the key objective of the revamped RGS is to develop the governance capabilities of the Panchayat institution. That is actually correct one. And the share of the central funding on this end is 100%. So first of all, do remember it's not a central sector scheme, it's a centrally sponsored scheme. So the centrally sponsored scheme, you will find it is not 100, it's basically not 100%, it's basically on sharing basis. It could be 60-40, 90-10, or maybe, for certain UTs, for UTs, obviously it is 100%. So यहाँ पे जो है हमारा third statement and first statement is incorrect and the answer is what? 2 only. तो स्कीम्स में से जो क्वेश्चन हमारा पहला आया है वो ये है और यहाँ पे हमारा आंसर क्या है? 2 ओनली. फर्स्ट एंड थर्ड स्टेटमेंट इज इनकरेक्ट है. नेक्स्ट पे बढ़ते हैं. आई थिंक द क्वेश्चंस हैव बीन डन. So that is what all the questions from the economic section I would say. So do remember, I'm repeating again this thing again, that the questions of economics are not very tough and moreover overall paper also is not tough. I would say it's kind of a moderate. what UPSC is being trying to test in this particular year of examination is your patience, because the kind of length of the questions we have seen in certain areas is big. So again, the thing is simple. You just need to hold your breath at the beginning of the examination. Read the paper. If it is tough, then it is tough for everyone. If it is lengthy, lengthy for everyone. If it is easy, then easy for everyone. And the logic is very simple. पेपर टफ होगा तो कट ऑफ आपकी मान के चलिए ज़्यादा होगी या कम होगी. अगर हमारा पेपर टफ होगा तो कट ऑफ विल बी कंपैरेटिवली लेस. ठीक है. पेपर अगर इजी होगा देन कट ऑफ विल बी बेसिकली मोर. So what I believe, in this particular year paper and whatever level of question UPSC have asked, मुझे लगता है कि कट ऑफ जो आपकी जाएगी वो होगी आपकी 80 plus minus 5 for the general category. Because if you compare this year paper with the last year paper, I would say last year का paper was comparatively easier. Obviously in terms of question level, in terms of logic source. This year it's a lengthy. तो जब लास्ट के पेपर में कट ऑफ हमने देखी कि 87 88 के आसपास आई, यूपीएससी ने कट ऑफ रिलीज करी. सो ऑब्वियसली दिस ईयर इज गोइंग टू बी कट ऑफ विल बी लेस, बिकॉज since 11:30 I think more than 100 of students have actually messaged me and they're saying कि सब पेपर बहुत टफ था, हमारे पसीने छूट गए, हमें समझ में नहीं आता यूपीएससी टेस्ट क्या करना चाहता है, ब्ला ब्ला ब्ला, इस तरह के मुझे चीजें सुनने को मिली है. बट आई एम टेलिंग यू, ऐसा नहीं है. यूपीएससी केवल ये टेस्ट करना चाहता है कि आप कितने आराम से how easier you can handle the paper and you can handle the pressure also, because that is what you're supposed to do when you become the civil servant. So now after me, your science and technology area is going to be discussed by Ritesh sir. So he's going to take over now. And all the best. Thank you very much.
Hello. So good evening to all of you once again. And I'm here to discuss science and technology part. So let's start without wasting time. So you can see set over there, and you can find out the respective set of yours. You can relate with the question, right? So the first question of science and technology is, which of the following statements about Dhruv 64 is or are correct? So you must be knowing that Dhruv is basically a semiconductor chip, and India is basically venturing into making indigenous semiconductor chips. So we want to reduce the import of these semiconductor chips. We want to develop in this semiconductor arena. And the statement is, this is third chip fabricated under DIRB program with an overall aim to enable the creation of microprocessors for India. Yes, this is the third chip, right? So that is the correct one. So this is the third chip that is there. First one was Tejas 32, then second was Tejas 64, and third one is Dhruv 64, right? And this is India's first. I mean, if we talk about Dhruv, then Dhruv is India's first homegrown 1 gigahertz clock speed 64-bit dual core microprocessor, right? So that is there. This is also correct one. So both 1 and 2 are the correct one, right? So this is the, yes. Now let's get to the second question. The Bureau of Indian Standard BIS recently introduced a national standard for test and access bomb disposal system. So bomb disposal system, right? That is one thing. So we have to find out the correct statement. So the new standard is known as IS. This is correct one. I mean, obviously, it's a trend-oriented thing that you need to know. And having one standard will certainly improve interoperability of equipments across the agencies. So different agencies are using this bomb disposal system. And if you have a new standard, a unified standard system, then what will happen? Interoperability will be promoted. So that is one thing, because that will also help in unified training system, right? And all kind of thing. It was developed by TBRL DRDO in collaboration with 30th Central Scientific Research Institute, Russia. That is problematic area. Russia is not involved in that. It was developed by Indian organization only. So this Russia will tell you to eliminate the thing. So 1 and 2 is correct and third one is incorrect. So the right answer would be 1 and 2 only. C is the right answer. So elimination, and you can go with that. Okay. Now, if you go with the next one. Right. Now, this is next question. This is a new trend that UPSC has acquired, that X born in UK was conferred to the Nobel Prize of 2025. Professor in an American university when this prize was announced. So the right answer is John Clark, and quantum tunneling is the thing. He got the Nobel Prize in physics. And if you go through the current development, obviously when you are preparing for UPSC, then you always follow this Nobel Prize and all. So that's not a problem. You will have this. Okay. Right. Next one. Which of the following statements with regard to the Grand Slam tennis tournament? Okay. So this is not science and technology, but obviously related to tennis. I'll take that question, no issues. The tournament have a shared governance structure establishing partnership among 4 Grand Slam tournaments. Now, there is one thing that we should be knowing. Right. So here, the first statement is correct one, because you know that Grand Slam means 4 Grand Slam tournaments are there. US Open, then French Open, Australian Open, and Wimbledon. So that is the correct one, right? They are open for entries to all internationally ranked tennis players above age 14. No. Age 14, above age 14, there is a junior Wimbledon and junior Grand Slam also. So this above age 14 is not there, right? There is a limitation of number of wild card players. I mean, if you follow tennis, then you always come across that wild card entries into this system. So number are not limited. It is not limited. I mean, you can invite variable number of players as a wild card entry. So anybody who is having a little bit interest in sports and tennis, they could easily do it. So this is correct one. This is wrong. This is wrong. So C is the correct answer, only one. Now, next one, if we go, then this is the question. Which one of the following pair of semiconductor plants in India and their location is not correctly matched? Not correctly matched. This is very important to find it out. CZ Power and Industry Solution Private Limited, right? Gujarat, that is correct one. Then Tata Semiconductor Assembly and Test, Assam, that is correct one. SCL Foxconn, joint venture India Chips Limited, Madhya Pradesh, that is wrong. Basically, it's Uttar Pradesh. And you know that in Uttar Pradesh, near Noida International Airport, Jewar is being, it's already operational now. So around that place only this particular establishment is there. SCL is Indian partner and Foxconn is Taiwan counterpart. And this 6M Private Limited Odisha, that is also correct one. So this is the incorrect one. The rest, all 3 are the correct one. So here the answer would be E again. Okay. Now let's Move on to the next one. And here also, consider the following statement with regard to the film Bong. Now, this is a film question, right? I'll take that too. Again, it is related to your, you can say like current development, right? And I'll just furnish the information. The film was recently won the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, BAFTA. That is correct one. The film is directed by Lakshmi Priya Devi. That is also correct one. First Indian film to win BAFTA award. That is also correct one. So the right answer is 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Right. Next one, we can go ahead with. Which of the following statement regarding the feature of blockchain technology are correct? Record stored in a database may be made visible to relevant stakeholders without risk of alteration. Yes, you cannot alter it, but it will be visible to all stakeholders in that system. Copies of the entire database are stored on multiple computers on a network syncing with second. Yes, that is what the blockchain is. It's a distributed around the system, right? Consortium blockchain is blend of public and private blockchain allowing selective data access. No, consortium blockchain, their public is not, that is not fully dependent on public blockchain server or data center. If you include public and private, then it will be kind of hybrid blockchain, right? So that is not correct one. That is not correct. And mathematical algorithm make it impossible to change, delete any data. Yes, we have already talked about this in classroom and all everywhere, that you cannot delete or alter anything in this blockchain, right? So the right answer would be C. Again, C. 1, 2, and 4. So C is the right. Okay. So particularly if I talk about, then science and tech was good one. I mean, if you have gone through notes and current affair, you will be able to do it. But yes, it was a kind of mix of both current development and basic concept. And I mentioned many a time in the classroom also, right? Now, which of the following statements about rare earth element and critical minerals are correct? Modern technology innovation, including artificial intelligence, robotics, space exploration. Yes, definitely we do it. That is a correct one. China has a highest share in mining of rare earth elements, followed by India. This statement is correct, but this India is not followed. I mean, India is not at second position. There you have US and Australia like country, and then after India would come. So this is second one. Certainly India is not at the second position. The government of India launched the National Critical Mineral Mission in 2025 to establish a robust framework for self-reliance in critical mineral sector. Yes, that is also correct one. And rare earth element are set of 13 metallic element, not 13, it is 17. So if you go with that, then 17 such things are there, right? And the right answer would be 1 and 3. 1 and 3. So A is the right answer. Okay. So that is what I was saying, that you have to mingle current with basic concept. Next one, if we talk about which of the following statement with regard to genetic medicine. Genetic medicine is gene therapy kind of thing, right? Are correct. Genetic medicines correct compensate for the faulty gene responsible for disease. Yes, we have already discussed at a very good scale in the classroom. Engineered virus and lipid nanoparticles are used as a carrier of genetic medicine. That is also correct. Genetic medicines alter entire DNA sequence. No, it's not entire. It is always a specific DNA sequence, because you just, here you are saying faulty gene, then how can it be entire DNA sequence? It's a very common conception that entire DNA sequence you cannot change. That means the entire genome cannot be changed. Only faulty genes will be changed. So a specific sequence you work upon. So right answer would be 1 and 2, and C is again right answer. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. And next question is, which of the following statement with regard to large language model used in machine learning are correct? Right. So large language model, you know, we use it like ChatGPT and all language processors. So LLM assigns probabilities to the next possible word and then pick up the one with the highest probability. Yes. So when you ask any question to LLM, then LLM will search for the answer. It will try to find out that which words are associated with that particular query, and then it will use probability to find the right one. Right. So let's say if A is associated with B, and at the lots many places A is associated with B, then LLM will pick up B as a right answer. Right. LLM process data through mathematical optimization to minimize prediction error. Yes, that is also true. That is also true, because error can be eliminated in that way. And the third one, LLM produces unbiased. No, it's not unbiased, because you know, is all AI models are data fed models. So if data is biased, if data is tilted towards one thing, then it will show biasness, because it's nothing but, you know, finding probability. So if you put a lot of wrong information, then obviously it will be giving wrong result as well. That's why with every AI models, there is a footnote that this AI may tell you a wrong answer also, you need to recheck it, right? So 1 and 2 is the correct answer. So B is a correct answer. Answer would be B. Very common thing that they have asked. Now, next one. Which of the following statements with regard to stealth technology are correct? Stealth means, you know, that stealth means that aircraft during Iran-America war, stealth technology is very much in news, and India is also developing 5th generation aircraft AMCA, and AMCA will be having a stealth technology. That means this aircraft will not be detected by radar system. So radar will not be able to detect that. So stealth objects stealth object have a very small radar cross section and are coated with radar absorbing material. Yes, that is perfectly fine. The stealth object can be detected using a specific frequency. Yes. So UHF, ultra high frequency, right, and very high frequency, such kind of thing can give you the traces of a stealth object also. So that can be done. That is also correct. Stealth objects are coated with metamaterial, a specific material, to increase the scattering of electromagnetic radiation. No, it is definitely coated with some metamaterial. Metamaterial means some composite material that we don't have any clue about, but it won't increase, rather it will decrease. Because if a scattering and reflections are increased, it means that radar will be able to catch it, because radar works on Doppler effect. That means radar will work upon that how much electromagnetic radiation is reflecting back from the object, and radar is able to catch it. So radar will throw and then it will catch. So scattering and reflection will make radar easier to detect it. So metamaterials are coated over the object so that scattering and reflection can be minimized. So this is wrong. So answer would be 1 and 2. Okay. So answer is C again. Next one, if you go. Okay. Which of the following statement with regard to black box? Black box. aviation black box. In modern aircraft, they carry a beacon emitting red light, pulse to facilitate underwater detection. No, red light and underwater will not go together. For underwater, you have ultrasound, right? So ultrasonic sound would be coming, and then underwater you can detect it. In robotics chapter, we have already discussed about it, that how robotic system, bluefin robotics will go and detect it, and how black box can be detected by following the footprint of ultrasonographic signal which is coming out of it. They record both the cockpit voices and flight data, definitely. They do it. So this is wrong, this is correct. Their memory units are made up of using either stainless steel or titanium. That is perfectly fine. So answer is 2 and 3. D is the right answer. Easy one. Easy one. If you have gone through the lecture, you will be definitely be able to do it. Okay. So particularly, I was happy about this question, right? And the entire science and tech portion at least, because 17 questions they have asked in science and technology. And if you have gone through the entire class notes and little bit of current developments, then easily you can make more than 10 questions correct without any risk, more than 10 questions. Consider the following statement with regard to involvement of private entities in Indian space program. Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center in space is autonomous agency formed to facilitate participation of private entities. That is true. Agni Cool Cosmos launched the world first flight using 3D printed rocket engine. Yes, is also true. If you remember, we talked about Agni Ban, right? So Agni Ban was that rocket, and the 3D printed engine was semi-cryogenic engine. Semi-cryogenic engine. You know, semi-cryogenic engine is very important, which uses liquid oxygen as oxidizer and kerosene as fuel. So this Agni Cool developed world's first 3D printed semi-cryogenic engine, and with the help of this engine, they launched the first rocket of its own kind, Agni Ban. So that is the correct one. Skyroot Aerospace had developed liquid fuel for GSL, we know. Skyroot is there, and Skyroot is also very important. You know that Skyroot is the first space-based company who is unicorn in India. So first space-related unicorn in India is Skyroot Aerospace. You should keep in mind. And Skyroot is known for Vikram rocket. So their major achievement is what? Vikram rocket. So this is also wrong. So this is correct one. This is correct one. And we have to find the correct one only. So 1 and 2 only. The answer is C. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. Which of the following statement with regard to drone swarms? Drone swarms mean group of drones are correct. They use terahertz band frequency. Terahertz is being used. We are still exploring it. As far as drones are concerned, we are not using terahertz. Right? Terahertz will be used in 6G and all. So we are exploring terahertz. So if you are knowing about 6G and other wireless technology, you will be knowing that terahertz is not being used anywhere primarily. All the thing that we are doing in terahertz is basically exploring it, experimenting with it. So there is no point that terahertz will be used in drone. Individual drones in the swarm can communicate. Yes, they can communicate. You know that swarm drones are creating a lot of, formations in the air. Many shows you might have seen on a television also, you might have seen, or you have witnessed in real also. GPS spoofing, that means, GPS spoofing is a technology where we add error in GPS data and we confuse the drone, so the drone is deviated from its path, right? And then swarm attack can be countered, right? So recently, drone was very much important when India was fighting a war with Pakistan in Operation Sindoor. And then drone attacks was there from the Pakistan side, and drone swarm came over India, and India was able to manage it well. So warfare is changing, and then you can see the drones, important one. In defense technology, we talked about it. So that is also correct one. This is correct one. This is wrong. So 2 and 3. B is the right answer. Right? Okay. Now, which of the following statement with regard to Genome India project? Very important topic we have talked about. It is a part of Human Genome Project. No, it's not a part of Human Genome Project. Human Genome Project is a part of USA led project, whereas this is of India. So nowhere it's a part of it. This project is funded by DBT. That is perfectly fine, correct one. And its primary aim to build a catalog of genetic diversity of the Indian population. Right. That is also correct one. So 2 and 3, B is the right answer. So B is the right answer. Very easy question. If you have gone through, you will definitely. Right. Now, so you can see the question. I mean, after seeing this question, I got extra confidence. So you as an aspirant and you as a future aspirant must be getting a little more confident on your preparation, right? Because these kind of questions UPSC will ask, and you need to understand one thing: you don't need to crack every question. 17 questions are there. You don't need to crack all 17. You just need to be above cutoff, and you are easily over there, right? Now, okay. Now, which of the following statement with regard to the National Quantum Mission? Again, it was very expected to come, NQM. It aims to develop intermediate scale quantum computers with 50 to 1000 physical qubit. Yes. If you remember in our class, I always display one poster, and this poster was basically published by Department of Science and Technology, DST poster, and there it is written. 3 columns are there, and it is written. Its implementation includes setting of 4 thematic hubs, T hubs. Yes, 4 T hubs. 4 T hubs will include quantum computing, first T hub, then quantum communication, second T hubs, then quantum metrology and quantum sensing, third T hub, and then quantum material and devices, that is fourth T hub. So this is there. So all 2. So both are correct. Okay, both are correct. Now, consider the following statement about Mission Sudarshan Chakra. Yes, Mission Sudarshan Chakra. In defense technology, we talked about. It aims to enhance India's air defense. Definitely, it is about air defense only. Modi ji, our PM, has already announced it, right? Ballistic missile defense and aerial offensive capability. Designed to enhance rapid, precise, and powerful defense response. Definitely, it is. One of the aim of the mission is to cover all public places. No. It's not all public places. Even 2035 is okay, but all public places is nothing. There is no specification about it. We cannot go like this. All means, very general statement. It can't be like this. So let's do not consider it. And the answer would be 1 and 2 only. So the right answer would be B. Right answer would be right. Let's move on and go with the next one. Consider the following statement with respect to the AI Impact Summit held in New Delhi. Obviously, I mean, in our IT and communication classes, we have already gone through, and I was pretty much sure that this area would be explored. The summit intellectual framework was based on 3 fundamental sutras: people, planning, and progress. People, planet, and progress, not planning. Right. So it was people, planet, and progress. Isn't it? So, people, planet, and progress. And the second statement is submit stress democratizing AI resources, and binding word was used. This is not the complete sentence. It was a kind of binding word. So binding is not binding. It's non-binding. It's non-binding. Right. So non-binding. So this statement is correct. This is a incomplete one. New Delhi Declaration on Impact was structured around 7 chakras pillars. Yeah, that is also correct one. So this is correct, and this is wrong. This is wrong. So only 3. D is the right answer. D is the right answer. Okay. So again, like I told you that if you go through the current development, you will be able to do it. Next one. Yes, very interesting. Which of the following items of defense hardware are manufactured in India? Sukhoi MKI fighter jet. So Sukhoi MKI fighter jet, we got it from Russia, but tech transfer has been done, and HAL is making it in India. It's Russian technology. By the way, all of them are coming from Russia, right? But HAL is basically manufacturing is after transfer of technology. And T-90 tank is also from Russia, and we are developing it, right? So we are now manufacture it in India itself, and for that we have heavy vehicle factory, HVF. The heavy vehicle factory is there. Heavy vehicle factory, there we do it. Akula class submarine is basically INS Chakra. INS Chakra. And it was a nuclear submarine, right? Nuclear submarine that India took from Russia on lease, and then we returned it. We took it on a lease and we returned it. We wanted to have this nuclear submarine in India so that we can develop our own nuclear submarine in Arihan. Get the inspiration from it. So it was taken on lease. We never made it in India. So this is not the one we made it. So 1 and 2, A is the right answer. A is the right answer. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. Do we have any more question? Yet I think one more questions are there. Right. So one more question is there. So ma'am, So which of the following pair is not correctly matched? Corps, it's about armed forces. So 3 corps, Dimapur, that is the correct one. Now, it's all depend upon whether you have read it or not. 4 crops, Tejpur. Then 14 crops, Leh. 33 crops, Srinagar. Now, 33 crops are very important. You might have gone through it. 33 crop is not Srinagar, it is in Sukna. Sukna. And Sukna is very important. Geopolitically, it is very important. Right. And Sukna, Chicken Neck area. So Sukna is in there, in a West Bengal, near Siliguri, and it's a chicken neck. Chicken neck concept you might have gone through when we are there to connect northeastern state with the Indian mainland. So there, these 33 crops are deployed in Sukna, not in Srinagar. Srinagar, 15 corps are there. Corp 15 is there, right? So, I mean, obviously, it is through elimination, because chicken neck is very much important concept when it comes to northeastern states connecting with Indian mainland, right? And then 33 corps is also very important because it is deployed over there in Sukna, right at the chicken neck. and then they have made this combination so that you can easily recognize and eliminate it. That is what the elimination one, because there is no multi-query, there is just 4 options. You have to find the one incorrect one. So one of the most easiest you can talk about. Okay. So that is all, I think. Yeah. So this was the entire science and technology coverage, and in my view, it was pretty good. If science and technology is concerned, I particularly be very optimistic and happy about it, because out of 17-18 questions they have asked, 10 question minimum you can easily do it if you have gone through notes and all. You have applied your brain and you have gone through the basic reading of notes, you have gone through it. You can crack 2-3 more questions if you have gone through notes as well as current development. So UPSC is now, like I told you many times in the class, that UPSC is now not only asking current development, it is basically connecting current with the basic concepts, right? But still I find that out of 17 questions, it was 10-11 question was easily doable, like NQM, Genome India project, stealth technology. These questions were very easy. For that matter, if I talk about Sukhoi and the T-90 tank, right? Blockchain technology, these kind of things were easily accessible, easily can be done, right? Even your semiconductor part, right? That was easily doable, right? So yes, please, ma'am. So now ma'am will take over from here. Please, ma'am.
So I believe you have been benefited with the discussion so far, and it must be understood like what is demand of UPSC, and instead of criticizing UPSC for giving the difficult paper, you have to understand how should you approach towards the exam. A good batsman plays well. It's not that a person becomes a good batsman when the ball is easy. Rather, a good statesman know, a good batsman know how to handle the difficult balls. So you have to become that good batsman and understand that you are going to be in governance, and governance is steering the ship of the state. From there, the word governance has come. And you understand that we are living in an environment of geopolitical instability. Life is not easy. International politics is not easy. Economy is not easy. So how can a paper will be the way you want? The paper or the selection process has to be what is the requirement of Indian administration. In fact, there are very positive changes in the paper. If I talk about polity, gone are the days of the rote memorization of Lakshmikant. I have always said that look beyond Lakshmikant. If you know what to study and how to study, you can see, you can talk to our students the questions. For example, the questions on Article 13, the question asked on the scheduled tribes, the question asked on the commencement of the Constitution, the question on question R. These are the questions that we have done in the class. So, UPSC is not to be challenged. Your way of studies, you need a reality check and understand the beautiful blend they have done, the blending of politics, ethics, governance, how beautifully they have blended geography, international relations, and economics. So you should now learn how to study. Again, I am reminding, newspaper has to be your textbook. Don't go for anything that appears simple, because the life is not simple. Administering developing country with diversity amidst geopolitical uncertainty is not simple. You have to prove yourself fit for that. Every year, 15,000 students will be selected for writing mains. So it doesn't matter whether paper is simple or paper is difficult. Those who have studied properly, they are going to write mains. And those who have not understood the essence of the exam, and they will not, even if they will not learn from now onwards, like what seriousness, what depth is required, I think the next year is going to be a same story. Karl Marx once said that history repeats itself, first as a tragedy, second as a farce. So those who don't learn from the history, they are on the losing end. But those who are adaptable, they are on the winning side. And now let me discuss the paper and let me analyze this paper. So I have picked up the questions and see, again I am saying polity, ethics, international relations, economics, geography. You need an integrated approach. Integrated approach means an organic approach. Okay, so let me begin with the first question here. And the question is, match list 1 with list 2 and select the answers using the code below the list. So the question is from Interpol. You understand International Criminal Organization, International Organization of the Police for dealing with the international crimes, issues like extraditions, etc. So why this question? Rather than just finding out the answer, you should know why this question, because very recently this silver notice concept has been introduced. Fine. So now let us understand what is this silver notice. So this silver notice is the new thing that is added. Silver notice is to identify and trace criminal assets. Okay. Now, what is this black notice? Black notice is to seek information on unidentified bodies. Now, what is this blue notice? Blue notice is when you seek additional information, and green notice is to provide warning about person's criminal activities. So the option here will be C. The option here will be C. Okay, A 4, B 2, C 1 and D 3. ओके, तो ये सारी इंफॉर्मेशन आपको लक्ष्मीकांत में नहीं मिलेंगी। ये सारी इंफॉर्मेशन आ सकती है, इस चीज का इमेजिनेशन कि क्या पूछा जा सकता है, ये इंपॉर्टेंट है। तो ये उसी को पता चल सकता है जो जेन्युइनली अखबार पढ़े, रादर देन द स्निपेट्स प्रोवाइडेड बाय द कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स। Fine, and especially if you are a political science student, I strongly recommend that you must read the newspaper. कैसे? Now, let us go to the next question. This is the question. This is the topic. I made a video around 12 or 13 January when the German Chancellor Friedrich Merz came to India and he gave one term, Zeitwende. So Zeitwende means a historic movement. Unfortunately, students do not watch the videos that matter. That is another problem on social media. If you will go and see the video, you will understand. And in this year's mains examination, there is a huge probability of this particular question to be asked. Now, let us see. German Chancellor visited India in January. And do you know what is Chancellor? Chancellor is equivalent to the Prime Minister. But what is different between the Chancellor and the Prime Minister? So, Chancellor has more power because it is a Chancellor's democracy. Germany is called Chancellor's democracy. Chancellor need not to consult the cabinet all the time, whereas Prime Minister has to go for consultation with the Council of Ministers. तो अब इस क्वेश्चन से अगले साल के लिए क्या पढ़ना चाहिए? आपको समझना चाहिए चांसलर क्या होता है, आपको समझना चाहिए जर्मनी का इलेक्टोरल सिस्टम कैसे है। इन रिसेंट टाइम यूरोप के साथ इंडिया के बहुत सारे जो रिलेशंस हैं वो चेंज हो रहे हैं, बढ़ रहे हैं, बेटर हो रहे हैं, यूरोप हमारा फोकस है। तो खुद से इमेजिन करो कि अगले साल क्या क्वेश्चन आ सकते हैं, किस तरीके के क्वेश्चन आ सकते हैं। कोई भी क्वेश्चन ऐसा नहीं आया जो नहीं आना चाहिए, ये चीजें आपको पता होनी चाहिए। यू शुड हैव बीन अपडेटेड विद दैट। So signing a memorandum of understanding between the All India Institute of Ayurveda and University of Hamburg. Now it is not University of Hamburg, it is a different university. It is a German word. I will give University of Chariot. So the joint statements that we do in PSIR, you should go through that, because today international politics, domestic politics are overlapping areas, boundaries are collapsing. Please change your ways of studying. So this is wrong because the name of the university is wrong. Signing a memorandum of understanding on youth hockey development between Hockey India and German Hockey Federation. Yes, you can find this information in the joint statements in MEA. Establishment of a bilateral dialogue mechanism on Indo-Pacific. Yes, that was the topic of the video I made. Fine. Now, opening of an honorary council of Germany in Lucknow. It is not in Lucknow, it was opened in Ahmedabad. But do you know what is honorary council? So honorary council, anybody from India, any dignified person, any eminent person, they can make the honorary council, and he will be the nodal point. Primarily, they may be from business, etc. And they may be the people who will be a point of contact. And this is how Germany will be engaging the people to people contact. And since it is honorary, means it is not paid. तो केवल इतना जानना जरूरी नहीं है कि लखनऊ में खुला कि अहमदाबाद में खुला, आपको ये टर्म्स को समझना होगा। ऑनोरेरी क्या है, इसको आप सर्च करिए, इसको आप और समझने की कोशिश करिए। और जीएस में खासकर यूरोप, इस बार के जो मेंस है उसमें यूरोप पे तो क्वेश्चंस आने ही आने हैं। ओके, तो क्या हुआ इसका आंसर? क्वेश्चन क्या है? नॉट करेक्ट ढूंढना है। तो नॉट करेक्ट कौन सा है? 1 and 4। तो इसका आंसर हो गया आपका बी। ओके, चेंज कर दो। इनफैक्ट इस पेपर में तो कुछ लॉटरी क्वेश्चंस हैं, जैसे ये पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन। अब ये क्वेश्चन है या एक दो एथिक्स या गवर्नेंस के कॉमन सेंस के क्वेश्चन है, वो तो गलत होने ही नहीं चाहिए, वो तो कॉमन सेंस के क्वेश्चंस आपको दिए जा रहे हैं। और मैंने हमेशा एम्फेसाइज किया है किताब पढ़ो, इसीलिए क्यों? क्योंकि कॉम्प्रिहेंशन इंपॉर्टेंट है, ग्लोबल एकेडमिक ट्रेंड को समझिए। ओके, अब ये क्वेश्चन किससे रिलेटेड है? ये क्वेश्चन आर्टिकल 13 से रिलेटेड है। जिन्होंने भी क्लास किया होगा, मैंने क्या बताया कि पॉलिटिकल साइंस है या कुछ भी है या फिलॉसफी है, हम लैंग्वेज चेंज कर दें, इट इज एज गुड एज सी सेट। आप बजाय कि आप एक्सप्लिसिट प्रोविजन आप XYZ लैंग्वेज का भी यूज कर सकते हैं। तो अब इस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन में किससे रिलेटेड है? सॉरी, ये आर्टिकल 13 से नहीं रिलेटेड है, आई वाज रॉन्ग, आई थॉट ये वाला क्वेश्चन है। तो ये पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन गवर्नेंस का क्वेश्चन है। गवर्नेंस आपके सिलेबस में, तो ये कोई आउट ऑफ सिलेबस नहीं है। जब आप गवर्नेंस GS2 में पढ़ रहे हैं तो सबसे पहले तो आपको गवर्नेंस की थ्योरी पढ़नी पड़ेगी। फाइन, तो क्वेश्चन क्या है? मिस्टर एक्स, ऐसे तो क्वेश्चन आना एक अच्छी चीज है। मिस्टर एक्स, अ सीनियर ऑफिसर, was overseeing a critical vaccination program during a pandemic. He found that a private service provider responsible for vaccine distribution was compromising on quality to make profits. Despite immense pressure to manage the issue due to vested interest, he raised his voice based on the principles of public administration, which he learned during various training programs across his career. He reported the issue to the appropriate vigilance authority and halted the contract to ensure citizens' welfare. Which of the following principles of public administration was most strongly demonstrated by Mr. X's action? So let us see. एस्पेरेट डी कॉप्स का मतलब क्या होता है? टीम वर्क। इक्विटी का मतलब हुआ जस्टिस एंड फेयरनेस। तो यहाँ टीम वर्क की बात है नहीं, टीम ही कुछ कुछ गलत काम कर रही है और उसके ऊपर प्रेशर आ रहा है। तो अकाउंटेबिलिटी, अ पब्लिक सर्वेंट इज अकाउंटेबल, ओके, अकाउंटेबल फॉर द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, ही इज अकाउंटेबल फॉर द हेल्थ ऑफ द पीपल। तो यहाँ पे क्या आएगा? आंसर विल बी सी, डेलीगेशन। उसने कुछ डेलीगेशन नहीं किया है। एस्पिरेट द कॉप्स, वो तो तब आएगा जब आप लीडरशिप या किसी कलेक्टिव टास्क के लिए ऑफिसर्स को मोटिवेट करेंगे। तो अब ये समझिए, जीएस जो है वो ऑप्शनल की तरफ जा रहा है। इसीलिए मैं कहती हूँ कि जो भी पढ़ाए उसके पास डेप्थ होनी चाहिए। ओके, तो जब एक ऑप्शनल टीचर जीएस को पढ़ाता है तो उसको थियोरी पता होती है। बिना थियोरी के फैक्ट्स का कोई मतलब ही नहीं है। अगर ट्रेंड को आप नहीं समझेंगे तो अननेसेसरली यू आर क्रिएटिंग ट्रबल फॉर योरसेल्फ। एंड I always say experience teacher, non experience टीचर टीचर है, हर काम स्पेशलाइज्ड है। टॉपर टॉपर है, जैसे टॉपर पढ़ाने लगा, टीचर कुछ और करने लगा. इट्स नॉट करेक्ट अप्रोच. आप देखिए प्लेटो ने क्या कहा है. प्लेटो ने कहा है फिलोसोफर हैज टू बी द रूलर, यानी कि आपको कैसा पर्सन होना चाहिए, नॉलेजेबल पर्सन. ये क्वेश्चन पेपर क्या दिखाता है, केवल इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं, केवल नॉलेज नहीं, एबिलिटी टू हैंडल द प्रेशर ऑल्सो. ओके, नाउ लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड दिस नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. तो इसमें क्या अनप्रिडिक्टेबल है, तो अच्छा क्वेश्चन है, इसको कॉमन सेंस से किया जा सकता है. In a multi-ethnic district where both economic competition and historical grievances frequently led to community tension, something like which happened in Manipur. Tensions as a flashpoint has arisen with the government decision to allocate land for waste management facility near a tribal hamlet, sparking protest by the tribal community, which claimed that the land was sacred and critical to their cultural identity. फाइन, तो कोई लैंड है जिसके ऊपर एक कंटेस्टेशन हो गया. एट द सेम टाइम अर्बन रेजिडेंट्स एंड लोकल इंडस्ट्रीज सपोर्ट द प्रोजेक्ट, citing severe solid waste challenges and health concerns due to the lack of proper disposal site. The conflict has escalated with roadblocks, social media campaigns and allegations of police excesses. ऐसे क्वेश्चन तो आने चाहिए क्योंकि यही तो आपको हैंडल करना है. As a responsible government official, you are tasked with resolving the situation through mediation, ensuring a sustainable outcome that balances environmental needs, tribal rights, and urban public health. Consider the following statement with reference to the above. A successful conflict resolution process must begin with acknowledging the cultural concerns of protesting tribal community before discussing the alternative. Yes, of course. We as a country, our constitution, आप इस क्वेश्चन को देखिए, क्या ब्यूटीफुल ब्लेंडिंग है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन और एथिक्स की और एक्चुअल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की. और जब तक आपको कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन नहीं पता है, जब तक आपको एथिक्स नहीं पता है, इन दोनों का कॉम्बिनेशन नहीं पता है, आप इसके लिए दीज आर द थिंग्स नीडेड. तो एथिक्स के पेपर या एथिक्स के क्वेश्चन के बैकग्राउंड में कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी, तो पॉलिटी फैक्ट्स का रटना नहीं है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रिंसिपल्स को आपको समझना होगा. तो क्यों क्यों आपको कल्चर को इंपॉर्टेंस देनी होगी? बिकॉज दैट इज द एसेंस ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. As far as tribals are concerned, India's approach is what? Multiculturalism. We have given lot many concessions. India has not gone for assimilation approach. We have gone for integration approach. आगे क्या क्वेश्चन आने वाले, इन चीजों को समझना होगा. Fine. So this is the right approach. Government should move ahead with the project without delay. No, not at all. Because this is going to create further problems in the field. To address urban health concerns which outweighs the sentiments of a small group. ये कितना प्यारा क्वेश्चन है, इसकी फिलॉसफी को समझिए. ये बताता है कि इंडियन डेमोक्रेसी जो है वो कैसी है. इंडियन डेमोक्रेसी इज नॉट मेजॉरिटेरियन. आप मेजॉरिटी के हेल्थ के लिए एक स्मॉल ग्रुप के इंटरेस्ट को इग्नोर नहीं कर सकते हैं. हमारी डेमोक्रेसी कैसी है? कॉन्सोसिएशनल डेमोक्रेसी है. तो जब हमने ये कंसेप्ट पढ़े, उस कंसेप्ट के बेसिस पे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को समझा, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को समझ के रियल लाइफ सिनेरियो को में अप्लाई किया. ओके, तो जो अब टेस्ट है, जो मेंस की टेस्टिंग है, वो प्रीलिम्स के लेवल पर स्टार्ट हो चुकी है. So government should move ahead with the project without delay, outweighing the sentiments of a small group. No, this is wrong. This is against India's constitutional morality. Creating a multi-stakeholder dialogue platform, including tribal leaders, environmental experts, municipal representatives, to build mutual understanding. Yes, of course, that is the way That is the essence of democracy. Further, when we have introduced 73rd and 74th Amendment Act, though for tribal areas we already have provisions like 5th schedule and 6th schedule, the essence is democracy, the essence is dignity. The essence here is not greatest happiness of greatest number. The essence here is Kantian. Our approach is Kantian approach. Okay. So multi-stakeholder dialogue platform, of course, that is the practical way to de-escalate, including tribal leaders, environmental experts, municipal representatives, to de-escalate, of course, yes. Conducting an independent environment and social impact assessment. Why not? क्योंकि आप किसी प्रोजेक्ट को रिजेक्ट कर रहे हैं, आप किसी प्रोजेक्ट को एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं, आपके पास वेरीफिएबल डेटा होना चाहिए और डिस्कशन होना चाहिए, स्टेक होल्डर अप्रोच होनी चाहिए, कंसेंसस लाने की कोशिश करनी चाहिए. इसीलिए एक सिविल सर्वेंट को एक लीडरशिप की क्वालिटी इंपॉर्टेंट है. और राइट लीडर क्या है? जो अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को समझे. फाइन, आपको कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल वैल्यूज के साथ आगे जाना है. ओके, तो ये क्यों नहीं, ये तो बिल्कुल करना है. which would contribute to the resolution of the process. So, except 2, everything else will contribute towards the resolution of process. So, of course, the answer will be 1, 3 and 4. तो क्वेश्चन की बहुत डिटेल्ड एनालिसिस करो. रिवर्स इंजीनियरिंग का मतलब ये नहीं होता है कि बस हम क्वेश्चन का आंसर समझ गए. उस चीज को आप टाइम दीजिए. चलिए, now Mr. X is a mid-level civil service officer working in urban development department of a major city. Miss X. Recently, she was involved in approving a contract for a public infrastructure project, a new community park. During the approval, she received a piece of confidential information indicating that one of the shortlisted contractor had a history of poor workmanship and allegations of corruption in other cities, though nothing had been legally proven. यानी आप ऑफिसर हैं, आपको पता चल रहा है कि कॉन्ट्रैक्टर जो है उस पर कुछ एलिगेशंस है, लेकिन आपके पास कोई लीगल प्रूफ है नहीं. ठीक है, तो क्या चीज है आपके पास? है कॉन्फिडेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन, यानी पब्लिक के पास अभी उस तरीके की इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं है, कॉन्फिडेंशियल है और लीगली प्रूफ है. Head of the department, Mr. Y, advised her not to disclose this information to the project committee or public because it could delay the project and damage the city's reputation. ठीक है, इन्होंने कहा कि आप डिस्क्लोज ना करें टू द प्रोजेक्ट कमेटी. चलिए, प्रोजेक्ट कमेटी को तो डिस्क्लोज कर सकते हैं. हाँ, पब्लिक को इस समय नहीं डिस्क्लोज किया जा सकता है क्योंकि उसके मेजर लॉ एंड ऑर्डर इश्यूज हो सकते हैं. However, Miss X believed that withholding such information compromised the transparency and public trust. So Miss X is right क्योंकि you cannot withhold the information. बट इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि सोशल मीडिया को इनवाइट करके आप इंफॉर्मेशन करने लग जाएं और उससे ज्यादा एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव चैलेंजेस आ जाएं. तो क्या करना चाहिए? लेट अस सी द ऑप्शन गिवन. Immediately disclose the information to the project committee and the public? No. A civil servant should be patient, should not do things in haste. You should take time. You should properly verify the things. How? On the basis of allegations without legal proof you can stop the things. चलिए, आप स्टॉप करिए, अच्छी बात है, लेकिन आप उसको पब्लिक डोमेन में एकदम से नहीं लाना. ये एक बिगर डेंजर को आप इन्वॉल्व कर रहे हैं. बट इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि थिंग्स शुड कंटिन्यू लाइक दिस. यू विल हैव टू टेक द एक्शन. Recommend moving the contractor from the short list to protect the project's integrity. Yes, कर सकते हैं, लेकिन और भी ऑप्शंस, क्योंकि आपको ऑप्शंस के अनुसार यहाँ पर डिसीजन लेना है. टाइम पीन के लिए हम हॉल्ट कर सकते हैं, हम इंक्वायरी बैठा सकते हैं. Propose a limited disclosure to an oversight committee while keeping the information confidential from the public for the time being. तो पब्लिक से अभी इंफॉर्मेशन शेयरिंग आप मत करिए, लेकिन लिमिटेड डिस्क्लोजर किया जा सकता है ओवरसाइट कमेटी को. अब लिमिटेड डिस्क्लोजर क्या है? लिमिटेड डिस्क्लोजर का मतलब है कि जितनी इंफॉर्मेशन जरूरी है केवल उतनी इंफॉर्मेशन को डिस्क्लोज किया जाए. ठीक है. अब इस क्वेश्चन में ऐसा नहीं है कि ये केवल एथिकल क्वेश्चन है. ये क्वेश्चन कहाँ से आ रहा है? इस क्वेश्चन में लॉ है, इसमें इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लॉ है. इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लॉ ये कहता है कि ऐसी परिस्थितियों में लिमिटेड डिस्क्लोजर होना चाहिए. ये कानून की बात है. और इसके साथ साथ जो पीछे की सारी चीजें हैं वो भी आपके कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अंडरस्टैंडिंग के ऊपर डिपेंड करेगी. फाइन. तो अब हमारे लिए जो बिल्कुल करेक्ट है, यानी 3 तो है ही है. ठीक है. लेकिन हम कौन सा ऑप्शन चूज करें? रिकमेंड रिमूविंग द कॉन्ट्रैक्टर. अभी हम कैसे रिमूव कर सकते हैं? जब तक हमारे पास लीगल प्रूफ नहीं है. तो इसमें आई विल गो फॉर 3 ओनली. ओके. अब इस तरीके से जो क्वेश्चन दिए गए बहुत अच्छा किया गया है. आपकी कॉम्प्रिहेंशन, आपकी आईक्यू का टेस्ट है जो होना भी चाहिए. फाइन. तो क्वेश्चन का एसेंस में समझा देती हूँ. क्वेश्चन में इस बात पर 2 लोगों में डिबेट चल रहा है, मिस्टर एक्स और मिस्टर वाई में. ये आर्टिकल 13 के इंटरप्रिटेशन से संबंधित है. इस चीज को मैंने क्लास में आपको हमेशा से समझाया. तो आर्टिकल 13 क्लॉज 2 में लॉ की डेफिनेशन है. लॉ की डेफिनेशन क्या है? बहुत वाइड है. अब इसमें एक प्रश्न उठता है कि क्या अगर इसमें ऑर्डिनेंसेस, ऑर्डर्स, रूल्स आते हैं तो क्या इसमें कस्टम्स एंड ट्रेडिशंस आएंगे? अब इशू ये है कि ये क्वेश्चन ही क्यों है, कंफ्यूजन क्यों है? क्योंकि इसके लिए आपको देखना होगा नरसू अप्पू माली केस. तो नरसू अप्पू माली केस वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ बॉम्बे. तो इस केस में ये बताया गया है कि जो माइनॉरिटी यानी जो मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ है वो एक तरीके का कल्चर है. मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ वाला कस्टम ट्रेडिशन इसका हिस्सा नहीं है. बाकी अन्य जो भी कम्युनिटीज हैं उसके कस्टम ट्रेडिशन इसके हिस्से में आते हैं. फाइन. तो आप इसमें देखिए कि जो मिस्टर एक्स हैं वो क्या इंटरप्रिटेशन कर रहे हैं कि आर्टिकल 13 में जो टर्म लॉ है इसका इंटरप्रिटेशन कर रहे हैं. तो इनके अनुसार इसके अंदर ऑर्डिनेंस, ऑर्डर्स, रूल्स आते हैं. लेकिन वाई यहाँ पे कहता है कि लॉ में कस्टम्स एंड यूसेजेस भी आते हैं. तो आंसर क्या है? आते हैं. कस्टम्स एंड यूसेजेस आते हैं. तो ये क्वेश्चन में कंफ्यूजन ही क्यों है? क्योंकि मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ के लिए जो नरसू अप्पू माली केस है उसके अनुसार मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ के जो कस्टम यूसेज माने जाते हैं उसको हटा दिया गया है. फाइन. लेकिन फिर भी अगर हम देखें जो सबरीमाला जजमेंट है या सबरीमाला का जो अभी वाइडर बेंच है वो इसको रिव्यू भी कर रही है कि क्या मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉज आर्टिकल 13 क्लॉज 2 में आएंगे या नहीं आएंगे. तो अभी हमें एक जेनरिक समझना होगा कि इन जनरल मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ तो एक्सेप्शन है, तो ये तो जनरल प्रिंसिपल है, तो ये सही होगा. चलिए, तो अब किसकी बात सही है? वाई पॉइंटेड आउट दैट लॉ इंक्लूडेड कस्टम्स एंड यूसेजेस एंड एक्स इज नॉट कन्विंस्ड. तो क्या है? देखिए, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की समझ है. लोग आर्टिकल 13 पढ़ते हैं लेकिन उसको समझते कुछ नहीं है. ठीक है. इतनी चीजों, छोटी छोटी चीजों में कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं. क्या लॉ में अमेंडमेंट आएगा, या नहीं आएगा, ठीक है। तो इसमें सही कौन है, इसमें सही y है, तो w of only y is correct, ओके। तो इसका आंसर क्या होगा, लेट मी सी, x is correct इंक्लूडिंग नो, x का, क्योंकि x कस्टम को इसमें डाल नहीं रहा है तो वो तो करेक्ट है ही नहीं। w of y that law included custom is not correct, ये भी गलत है, कस्टम है उसका हिस्सा। व्यू ऑफ बोथ आर करेक्ट, दो लोगों के अपोजिट व्यूज करेक्ट कैसे हो सकते हैं, तो ऑफ कोर्स डी इज द आंसर। भाई मुझे तो ये क्वेश्चन बहुत समझ में आया, बहुत अच्छा लगा, बहुत अच्छा पेपर लगा। और ये पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन जिस स्टूडेंट ने भी मेरा क्लास किया होगा पॉलिटी का, GS2 का, 1250 का जो अपना कोर्स है उसमें आप देखिए, आई ऑलवेज टेल पहले दिन ही कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का प्रोमलगेशन क्या है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कहाँ लिखा गया है, कमेंसमेंट ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन क्या है, ये सब चीजें हम लोग करते हैं जिसको आप अन्यथा इग्नोर करते हैं। फाइन, तो इसमें क्या बताया है, देयर इज नो आर्टिकल जो ऑफिशियली कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया की बात करता है, ये गलत है। देयर इज एन आर्टिकल, आर्टिकल 393 है। देयर इज नो आर्टिकल दैट स्पेसिफाइज दैट इंडिपेंडेंस ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट एंड गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट हैज स्टैंड रिपील्ड, ये भी गलत है, ये भी आर्टिकल है 395 है। देयर इज नो आर्टिकल दैट मेंशन 26 जनवरी, क्लास के नोट्स को देखो whether we have done this or not, ठीक है। तो ये क्या है, आर्टिकल 394, तो देर इज नो आर्टिकल, यानी ये गलत है। इसमें क्या है, देर इज नो करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट। गवर्नेंस, गवर्नेंस भी आपको पढ़ना है प्रीलिम्स के लिए भी। मेरे हिसाब से ये तो मेंस का ही पेपर है और उसको आपने ऑब्जेक्टिवली पूछ लिया है। Right of Persons with Disability Act passed by the Parliament of India in 2018 mandates reservation in education, employment, places a legal duty. अब इस क्वेश्चन में फैक्ट गलत है, और ऐसा नहीं कि आपको फैक्ट नहीं पता होना चाहिए, आपको फैक्ट पता होना चाहिए कि ये 2018 में नहीं आया, ये लॉ 2016 में आया है। हमेशा जब कोई लॉ आता है, कोई घटना होती है, कोई कॉन्टेक्स्ट होता है, तो लॉ कब आया ये आपको पता होना ही पड़ेगा। तो ये कैसा है, ये रॉन्ग हो गया। सुगम्य भारत अभियान फोकस ऑन अचीविंग यूनिवर्सल एक्सेसिबिलिटी, यस, व्हाई नॉट। National Divyangjan Finance and Development Corporation is a public sector organization set up by Ministry of Corporate Affairs. No, it is set up by Ministry of Social Justice, not corporate affair. Okay, और entrepreneurship, yes, ये सही है। तो इसमें D is the answer. No, D is not the answer. 2, B is the answer. Only B. B is the answer of this question. तो अब शेड्यूल्ड कास्ट, शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब हमेशा प्रायोरिटी एरिया है। Consider the following statement about the provisions pertaining to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in India. Provision regarding the administration of, ये क्या मुश्किल क्वेश्चन है, तो आसान क्वेश्चन है, सभी को पता है। आसाम, मेघालय, मिजोरम, त्रिपुरा। तो ट्राइबल एरियाज इन स्टेट ऑफ आसाम, मेघालय, मिजोरम, त्रिपुरा आर गिवन इन 5th शेड्यूल। नो, इट इज गिवन इन विच शेड्यूल, इट इज गिवन इन 6th शेड्यूल। 6th शेड्यूल में तो ये गलत हो गया। Some tribes of India are entitled to exemption from paying income tax on certain incomes. Yes, normally some tribes, not all tribes. ठीक है, कहाँ की ट्राइब, नॉर्थ ईस्ट की ट्राइब्स या लद्दाख, तो अभी जब लद्दाख में इशू हुआ और उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में ये न्यूज में था कि उनके ऊपर इनकम टैक्स ना पेमेंट करने के कुछ चार्जेस लगे, तो जो वांगचुक है उन्होंने बताया कि यहाँ की जो ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी है उसमें इनकम टैक्स लगता ही नहीं है। तो ये सब चीजें न्यूज में भी रहती हैं, इसको आपको समझना पड़ेगा और इसको आप सेक्शन 10 सब सेक्शन 26 ऑफ इनकम टैक्स एक्ट 1965 में देख सकते हैं। Constitution of India provides for reservation of seats for women belonging to SC and ST. Of course, ये तो आपको पता ही होगा। तो आंसर कौन सा सही है? 2 and 3. So there are 2 correct answers that include 2. Fine. So this is your answer. Answer will be A. एक बार मैं ये फिनिश कर दूं, then I will go through the chats and I will see if I can address some questions. Okay. Now remember the class. We have done this set of start question, unstart questions. We are yet to do the motions, but this question is there. तो अब क्या क्वेश्चन है? Unstart questions are those to which a member desires an oral answer. No. स्टार्ट क्वेश्चन के ओरल आंसर होते हैं, तो इसका कौन सा आंसर होगा? रिटन। अगर रिटन आंसर है तो सप्लीमेंट्री क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है? नहीं पूछा जा सकता। सप्लीमेंट्री क्वेश्चन तो तभी पूछा जाएगा जब वो ओरल होगा। तो स्टार्ट क्वेश्चंस वेयर अ मेंबर डिजायर अ रिटन आंसर, नो मेंबर डिजायर अ ओरल आंसर। तो नो सप्लीमेंट्री क्वेश्चन कैन बी आस्क्ड ऑन एन अनस्टार्ड क्वेश्चन। करेक्ट, क्योंकि अनस्टार्ड क्वेश्चन कैसा है? अनस्टार्ड क्वेश्चन तो रिटन है, तो इसमें सप्लीमेंट्री क्वेश्चन कैसे होगा? तो नो सप्लीमेंट्री क्वेश्चन कैन बी आस्क्ड, तो देयर इज ओनली वन करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट हियर। चलिए फिर याद करिए इंडियन पॉलिटी का अपना क्लास और दिस कमेटी। फाइन, हाउ डिटेल्ड वी हैव डन द कमेटी। फाइन, तो ये टीचर के पास ये समझ होनी चाहिए कि क्वेश्चन क्या आएगा और किस तरीके से क्वेश्चन आएगा। ओके, consider the following statement about committee on welfare of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. Although members of this committee are elected from both the houses of parliament, chairman of this committee is appointed by chairman of Rajya Sabha. No, it is appointed by speaker of Lok Sabha. तो ये आंसर गलत हो गया। 20 members are elected by Rajya Sabha and 10 members are elected by Lok Sabha. ये तो कंसेप्चुअली रॉन्ग है। राज्यसभा की स्ट्रेंथ और लोकसभा की स्ट्रेंथ डबल है, तो ऑफ कोर्स क्या होना चाहिए? 20 मेंबर्स आर फ्रॉम लोकसभा एंड 10 मेंबर्स आर फ्रॉम राज्यसभा, तो ये भी गलत हो गया। पॉलिटी के क्वेश्चंस तो आसान ही क्वेश्चंस हैं। नो मिनिस्टर एक्सेप्ट फॉर यूनियन मिनिस्टर फॉर सोशल जस्टिस इज एलिजिबल टू बी अ मेंबर। No minister except क्या? No minister is eligible for any committee. Fine. Members are elected for a fixed term of 2 years. No committee. It is only for 1 year. So I find all the answers are wrong. So there is no correct answer here. अब मिशन सुदर्शन चक्र है, चाहे तो आप इसे साइंस टेक में पढ़िए चाहे इसे पॉलिटी में पढ़िए। क्यों इम्पोर्टेंट है? इस पे इतना एम्फेसिस किया गया ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के बाद प्राइम मिनिस्टर की 15 अगस्त की स्पीच का ये पार्ट है। तो ये क्या है? हाईटेक इंडिया का इंडिजिनस एयर डिफेंस सिस्टम है, तो ऑब्वियसली ये चीजें एक्सपेक्टेड है ये आए। तो मिशन सुदर्शन चक्र इट एम्स टू इनहांस, ये कितना ज्यादा न्यूज में था, enhance India's air defense, ballistic missile defense and aerial capability. Yes, It is being designed to enhance rapid, precise, and powerful responses and enhance strategic autonomy. Yes, in Sudarshan, Mission Sudarshan, enhancing India's strategic autonomy. इस टाइटल से ही हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स में आर्टिकल है. One of the aims of this mission is to cover all public places of India by an expanded nationwide security shield. Yes, all public places का मतलब क्या हो गया? Military as well as civilians. In fact, इस साल डिफेंस का बजट बहुत बड़ा है. आप एग्जाम में देखिएगा, मेंस के एग्जाम में डिफेंस से बहुत ज्यादा क्वेश्चन आएंगे. यहाँ क्वेश्चन जो डिफेंस के क्वेश्चन है वो टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं पूछ रहे हैं, वो डिफेंस के क्वेश्चन की पॉलिसी पूछ रहे हैं. तो अब पॉलिटी क्या बन चुका है? पॉलिटी एथिक्स बन के आ रहा है. साइंस टेक्नोलॉजी पब्लिक पॉलिसी के फॉर्म में पढ़ना है आपको. ओके, तो अब यहाँ पे क्या आंसर होता है? It aims to enhance, so I think all the three are correct. Now, consider the following statement about the river bridges. International relations के नोट्स उठाओ और उसमें देखो ये सारी चीजें. फाइन. तो मैत्री सेतु बिल्ट ओवर फेनी रिवर कनेक्ट्स रामगढ़ इन इंडिया. रामगढ़ जो है वो बांग्लादेश में, चिटगोंग डिस्ट्रिक्ट में. साबरूम इन बांग्लादेश नहीं. कम से कम इंडिया का तो आपको ज्योग्राफी पता होने चाहिए. तो साबरूम का है साउथ त्रिपुरा में. तो अब क्या है देखिए, इसी में आईआर है, इसी में ज्योग्राफी है. ये क्वेश्चन फिलहाल गलत है. झूला घाट सस्पेंशन ब्रिज कनेक्ट्स इंडिया विद म्यांमार. नहीं, इट कनेक्ट्स विद नेपाल. मेची ब्रिज एंड इट्स अप्रोचेस कनेक्ट पानी टंकी बाईपास इन इंडिया विद काकड़वित्ता इन नेपाल. काकड़वित्ता समझ लो, जहां पर बिल्कुल इंडिया खत्म होता है और नेपाल स्टार्ट होता है. तो मेची ब्रिज क्यों न्यूज में था? क्योंकि जब नेपाल में प्रोटेस्ट हुई तो वहां से जो इमिग्रेंट्स इंडिया आ रहे थे तो वो इस जगह पे आ रहे थे और मेची ब्रिज पर स्ट्रैंडेड थे. ठीक है, तो इसमें क्या सही है? इसमें 3 ही सही है, डी ओनली. अब है 0 FIR. ये भी न्यूज में था. ये एक नया चेंज किया गया जिससे कि जो क्राइम है, ये जरूरी नहीं है कि भाई जिस टेरिटोरियल डिस्ट्रिक्ट में हुआ उसी के थाने में आप जाइए. आप कहीं भी इसको लिख सकते हैं, आप कहीं भी रिपोर्टिंग कर सकते हैं. A 0 FIR can be launched at a police station even though the place of commission of cognizable or non-cognizable offenses outside the territorial jurisdiction of that police station. तो अगर ऑफेंस आउटसाइड द टेरिटोरियल जुरिस्डिक्शन ऑफ दैट पुलिस स्टेशन हुआ है, इसीलिए 0 FIR है. पर इस क्वेश्चन में गलती क्या है? इस क्वेश्चन में गलती ये है कि यहाँ पर लिख दिया है नॉन कॉग्निजेबल ऑफेंस. यानी कि आपको अगर कानून नहीं भी पता है, लेकिन आपको इतना तो पता होना चाहिए कि जो FIR है वो केवल कॉग्निजेबल ऑफेंस के लिए होती है, नॉन कॉग्निजेबल ऑफेंस के लिए FIR नहीं होती है. तो इसलिए ये ऑप्शन गलत है. ऑफिसर इन चार्ज ऑफ द पुलिस स्टेशन वेयर 0 FIR हैज बीन लॉन्च्ड may with the permission of preliminary inquiry, permission of the higher authority for the preliminary inquiry. ये थोड़ा सा मिस्टेक है. initiate a preliminary inquiry. yes, तो ऑफिसर इन चार्ज जो है वो कर सकता है. हायर अथॉरिटी मतलब हायर अथॉरिटी यहाँ है कि DSP रैंक से नीचे की ऑफिसर नहीं होना चाहिए. तो ये आंसर सही है. अंडर 0 FIR इट इज ऑब्लिगेटरी फॉर इन्फॉर्मेंट टू फर्निश इंफॉर्मेशन इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली. नहीं, आप इन राइटिंग भी दे सकते हैं. ठीक है, तो आंसर क्या है इसमें? Answer is D, 2 only. I think that's the last. अच्छा, और है? Okay. Okay. चलिए. With reference to the organization under Government of India, consider the following detail. Central Economic Intelligence Bureau का function क्या है? To coordinate between various law enforcement agencies. Yes. Controlling Union Ministry, Ministry of Home Affairs, नहीं. ये है Department of Revenue, Ministry of Finance. तो ये ऑप्शन गलत है. सीरियस फ्रॉड इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऑफिस टू इन्वेस्टिगेट कॉर्पोरेट फ्रॉड, करेक्ट है. क्या इसकी जो मिनिस्ट्री है वो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फाइनेंस है? नहीं. जब ये कॉर्पोरेट फ्रॉड है तो इसकी मिनिस्ट्री जो है वो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट अफेयर्स है. सीबीआई टू प्रिजर्व पब्लिक लाइफ एंड इंश्योर द हेल्थ ऑफ नेशनल इकोनॉमी. यस, अगर आप सीबीआई का मोटो पढ़ेंगे तो आपको ये चीज मिल जाएगी. मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पर्सनल पब्लिक ग्रीवेंस एंड पेंशंस. यस, तो इसमें एक ही चीज सही है, यानी कि 3. अब क्वेश्चन 54 में तो कॉमन सेंस भी लग रहा है. फॉलोइंग इंटरनेशनल कन्वेंशंस व्हिच हैव नॉट बीन रेटिफाइड बाय इंडिया. एम्प्लॉयमेंट पॉलिसी कन्वेंशन, ये ILO का है, जो एक तरीके का एम्प्लॉयमेंट गारंटी देता है. तो यस, ये हमने साइन किया है. इनफैक्ट जो अपना VG राम जी या मनरेगा है उसको भी आप इससे लिंक कर सकते हैं. एबॉलिशन ऑफ फोर्स्ड लेबर, ये तो हमारे खुद के ही कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में है, ये भी हमने साइन किया है. इंटरनेशनल कन्वेंशन ऑन प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ द राइट्स ऑफ ऑल माइग्रेंट वर्कर्स एंड मेंबर्स ऑफ देयर फैमिली, ये हम नहीं दे सकते हैं क्योंकि we cannot have such a liberal approach. Fine, India is already heavily populated. Geneva Convention relative to the protection of civilian persons in time of war, ये हमने साइन किया है बट रेटिफाई नहीं किया है. तो क्वेश्चन तो रेटिफिकेशन पे है, इसलिए ये भी गलत है. कन्वेंशन ऑन रिडक्शन ऑफ स्टेटलेसनेस, ये भी हम इसके सदस्य नहीं हैं. फाइन, तो ये और ये जो इंडिया की रेफ्यूजी प्रॉब्लम है उससे आप लिंक करके देखिए. तो आंसर क्या हुआ? 1 and 2. तो लेकिन क्वेश्चन है क्या नहीं रेटिफाई किया है, तो हमने 3, 4 and 5 को नहीं रेटिफाई किया है. AI इम्पैक्ट समिट. AI इम्पैक्ट समिट पर मैंने वीडियो बनाया है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, आने वाले मेंस के लिए भी बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. Summit's intellectual framework was based on 3 foundational sutras. Correct. People, planning and progress. People planning नहीं है, planet है. तो इतना मुश्किल तो है नहीं ये पेपर. Preamble of the summit stressed democratizing AI resources. Yes. Which acknowledge the charter for democratic diffusion as a binding framework. Normally नहीं होता है कोई इंटरनेशनल, तो ये फिर गलत है. The New Delhi Declaration on AI Impact was structured around 7 chakras. Yes, I made this video. You can find that. तो इसमें आंसर हो गया, सही पूछा है, गलत 3 only. अब ये तो हम लोगों ने पॉलिटिकल साइंस में ही किया हुआ है. आसियान कंट्रीज के साथ हम क्या कर रहे हैं? कालादान मल्टी मॉडल, इंडिया म्यांमार थाईलैंड ट्राइलेटरल हाईवे, अगरतला अखूरा रेल लाइन, ये किसके साथ है? ये बांग्लादेश के साथ है. ये पहली वो ऐसी लाइन है जो बांग्लादेश और नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न रीजन को जोड़ती है. ठीक है, तो इसमें आंसर क्या हो गया आपका? 1 and 2. फिर पॉलिटिकल साइंस में हमने हमेशा बताया स्टुअर, तो मांगदेचु हाइड्रो इलेक्ट्रिक प्रोजेक्ट ये कहाँ है, ये भूटान में है। स्टुअर पैलेस याद होगा, इसका इंडिया ने रिस्टोरेशन किया है, अफगानिस्तान में है। डिस्ट्रिक्ट हॉस्पिटल दिखोया ये कहाँ है, श्रीलंका में। अभी न्यूज था वहां पर शायद कोई रेप विक्टिम या कुछ इस तरीके से पब्लिक प्रोटेस्ट हुआ था, इतना मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा है, बट ये न्यूज में था। तो इंस्टीट्यूट फॉर सिक्योरिटी एंड लॉ इन्फोर्समेंट ये मालदीव्स में है, ठीक है। तो इसका आंसर क्या हुआ, ए का A3 B2, A3 B2 यहाँ वैसे ही मिल गया, तो बी आंसर हो गया। C4 तो आंसर फर्दर की जरूरत ही नहीं है। फिर देखिए पॉलिटिकल साइंस में हमने इंडिया रशिया किया, आपको पता हो मैंने क्या बताया था, मैंने ये बताया था कि जो अकूला क्लास है, आईएनएस चक्र है, वो हमने किस पे लिए, लीज पर लिए। साइंस टेक्नोलॉजी भी अब आईआर ज्यादा है, ठीक है। सुखोई HAL बनाता है। MK3 टैंक्स या 2 टैंक्स ये क्या है, भीष्म टैंक्स, तो ये हम बनाते हैं, ये नहीं हम बनाते हैं। तो इसका आंसर क्या हुआ, कौन सा मैन्युफैक्चर होता है इंडिया में, 1 and 2 मैन्युफैक्चर होता है, यानी आंसर हो गया ए। अब ये पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है, क्योंकि इस साल मैक्सिमम जितने भी देशों के साथ हमने एग्रीमेंट किए उसमें मोबिलिटी एग्रीमेंट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, वर्कर्स माइग्रेशन एग्रीमेंट इंपॉर्टेंट है। अगर आपको क्लास का याद होगा तो मैंने बताया मोबिलिटी एग्रीमेंट्स। तो कोलंबो प्रोसेस क्या है, कोलंबो प्रोसेस कुछ 21 एशियन कंट्रीज हैं जिनमें वर्कर्स मोबिलिटी के लिए बनाई गई है। कंसीडर द प्लेटफॉर्म्स, कोलंबो प्रोसेस रीजनल कंसल्टेटिव प्रोसेस है, रीजनल है क्योंकि एशियन है। Abu Dhabi dialogue is a voluntary, non-binding, consultative process among Asian countries of labor origin and destination to facilitate regional cooperation. Yes. तो अब यहाँ पर एशियन कंट्रीज, एक तो इसमें से कुछ 10-12 एशियन कंट्रीज हैं और 6 गल्फ नेशंस हैं, तो ये भी करेक्ट है। Global Forum for Migration and Development created upon the proposal of a former UN Secretary General is a voluntary forum, ये भी सही है, ठीक है। तो इसमें ए आंसर है। नो 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 नॉट ए, क्योंकि इसमें बाइंडिंग बाइंडिंग नहीं है, नॉन बाइंडिंग है, इसलिए 2 और 3 सी आंसर होगा। ठीक है, चलो। तो वर्ल्ड फूड प्रोग्राम को नोबेल पीस प्राइज मिला है, चिल्ड्रन फंड को मिला है, हाई कमिश्नर फॉर रेफ्यूजीज को मिला है और ILO को मिला है, लेकिन इनको 2 बार मिला। पहला जब रेफ्यूजीज का कन्वेंशन आया तो उसको इम्पोर्टेंस बताने के लिए, और उसके बाद लेटर ऑन इस कन्वेंशन के द्वारा जो रेफ्यूजीज के राइट्स का प्रोटेक्शन किया। फाइन, तो इसका तो क्वेश्चन भी सिंपल है, आंसर भी सिंपल है, आंसर इज 3। तो UN मिशन इन लाइबेरिया, फाइन। तो UN मिशन इन लाइबेरिया ये है 2003 से 2018 के बीच में। ये UN मिशन ऑन सेंट्रल अफ्रीका एंड चैड ये है 2007 से 2010 तक। फिर UN मिशन ऑन तैमूर ईस्ट ये 90s में, मतलब शुरुआत में है, 2004 और यूएन मिशन, नहीं ये तैमूर ईस्ट है और ये है यूएन मिशन ऑन हाइटी, ये 2004 में है और तैमूर ईस्ट 2002 में है। तो इसका आंसर क्या है? इसका आंसर बी है। बिम्स्टेक, बिम्स्टेक इतना इंपॉर्टेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, कम से कम आप सोचो कि आगे कैसे उसको और पढ़ना है। तो बिम्स्टेक कल्चर इंडस्ट्री ऑब्जर्वेटरी का है थिम्पू में, तो A4 वाला सेलेक्ट कर लीजिए, ठीक है। बिम्स्टेक एनर्जी सेंटर का है बैंगलोर में, तो ये तो हो गया। बिम्स्टेक सेंटर फॉर वेदर एंड क्लाइमेट का है, ये नोएडा में यानी C1, और बिम्स्टेक टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर का है कोलंबो में। तो इसका आंसर क्या हो गया? इसका आंसर हो गया सी। ये चार्जिंग खत्म हो गई इसकी। क्वेश्चंस होंगे बच्चों के क्या? नाउ रीवैम्प्ड राष्ट्रीय ग्राम स्वराज अभियान, इसको चाहे गवर्नेंस का मानो चाहे पंचायती राज का मानो। द पीरियड ऑफ इट्स इम्प्लीमेंटेशन इज अप्रैल 21 to 26, नहीं ये फैक्ट गलत है, अप्रैल 22। Key objective is to develop the governance capability of PRIs to deliver sustainable development goal. Yes. Share of central funding is 100%. No. मैक्सिमम स्टेट के साथ 60-40 है, हिल स्टेट्स या जम्मू एंड कश्मीर इसके साथ 90:10 है, और यूटीज जो हैं तो यूटीज में 100% है, तो ये गलत है, ठीक है। तो आंसर क्या है आपका? आंसर हो गया 2 ओनली। एक है, लास्ट है ना। विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग कंट्रीज आर मेंबर्स ऑफ यूरोपियन यूनियन? ये तो बहुत ही सिंपल क्वेश्चन है भाई, जर्मनी तो फाउंडिंग मेंबर है ही है, ठीक है। पोलैंड ने 2004 में ज्वाइन किया, बेलारूस हो नहीं सकता, बेलारूस तो यूरेशियन इकोनॉमिक यूनियन का मेंबर है। स्विट्जरलैंड जो है इट इज टू रिच एंड टू स्टेबल एंड टू सिक्योर, इसलिए उसको ईयू की कभी जरूरत नहीं है। तो कौन है 2 मेंबर? पोलैंड एंड जर्मनी। With this our discussion ends, and very soon please check the website। अगर आप समझते हैं कि आपका प्रीलिम्स हो रहा है तो आप ये समझिए कि प्रीलिम्स को क्लियर करना बहुत एक अपॉर्चुनिटी है, क्योंकि आपको मेंस लिखने की अपॉर्चुनिटी है। इस चांस को मिस आउट नहीं करना है। हमेशा ऐसी जगह पढ़ाई करो जहां पर लोगों को कुछ समझ है, भेड़ चाल में नहीं चलिए, चीजों को समझ के पढ़िए। और अगर आप शुरुआत कर रहे हैं तो चीजों के ट्रेंड को समझिए, बेस में जाइए, ये समझिए कि जरूरत क्या है। और अगर आप दौड़ रहे हैं बिना कुछ सोचे समझे, तो आई डोंट नो वेयर दैट डेस्टिनेशन इज, बट इफ यू आर काम कंपोज्ड, आप टाइम ले रहे हैं, चीजों को समझ रहे हैं, तो डेफिनेटली यू विल गेट योर डेस्टिनेशन। होपफुली इस डिस्कशन से आपको फायदा हुआ है, एंड वेरी सून वी आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट आवर political science crash course, sociology crash course, as well as GS crash course and essay। स्पेशली पॉलिटिकल साइंस के स्टूडेंट्स को मैं फिर से कहूंगी, आप अपनी स्ट्रेटजी बनाइए। आप पॉल साइंस, GS2, एथिक्स और ऐसे इसको ही अगर अच्छा कर लेंगे तो भी आपका मेंस निकल जाएगा। चलिए, जय हिंद, जय भारत। how can we analyze newspaper for UPSC? What are your thoughts on UN peacekeeping mission and arms corps? देखिए आर्म्स कॉप ये तो एक फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चन है, लेकिन जब आप डिफेंस एंड इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी पढ़ते हैं तो आप आर्म्स कॉप्स के बारे में समझ सकते हैं. फाइन. सो आई थिंक न्यूज़पेपर कैसे पढ़ा जाए इसके ऊपर तो एक अलग से सेशन हो सकता है. आज के लिए इतना. थैंक यू.